Welcome, listeners of Illusion, to the Dungeon of Confusion. Come with us now as we spin you a tale to quicken the heart and chill the blood. But of course, you are not familiar with me or this place. Let me remedy such by stating my name is Artie McNeil, the co-writer of this tale with my friend and your dungeon master for the evening, Nikolai Popsky. Through the question of what if, we created this place with its melancholic overtones and hapless villagers. And we threw down the challenge to any and all who felt themselves brave or foolish enough to step up and experience what we have created, to truly open up the dungeon to the world and see who bit down on the bait. But now I hear a group of such brave fools at our gates. Time alone now will show the true motives of their hearts, for now it's time to raise their portcullis and open the dungeon.
Welcome to episode 9 of the Penance Halloween Project. This week we have Beholder's Eye. So, who are you, where people know you from, and what is your character you're playing tonight? Starting with Ogden.
I'm Sam, I'm playing Ogden, a Goliath magician. He's very scared of birds, so we'll see. And you'll know me from Beholder's Eye podcast. You can find us everywhere.
Just everywhere.
Pretty much
everywhere. Yep.
I try.
Your mind.
Okay, Gaffy next, please.
Alright, my name's Ben. I'm playing Gafferson. I'm a tiefling warrior. I am scared of technology and heights. I'm also on Beholder's Eye, which is at Beholder's iPod.
Okay, next is Wig, please.
I'm Ryan. I'm playing Wig Ironhammer. He's a dwarf who's normally on his own. He's scared of falling in love and dying alone, and for fall breaks. You can usually hear me as Hibonite in the podcast Beholder's Eye. We can be found on Twitter, most podcast services, and YouTube.
Okay. And finally, Yul Morana.
I'm Kim. I'll be playing Yul Morana Hammerfell. She is a dwarf thief, and I didn't give her an age. I don't know how old she is, but she's done taking care of her siblings and is terribly afraid of the wrath of Zeus, cheese wheels, and existential dread. But you can normally find me as Solara over on Beholder's Eye, and other places I'll get to later.
Okay. So, the story begins. You have all independently responded to a plea for help from a merchant that he had sort of put as a work offered on the wall of this tavern. So you all turn up in the evening and sit down at this, quite lavish looking table and find that your drinks are being paid for as long as you're come to agree to the work. And after about half an hour after the due time, this merchant appears. He looks like quite an old, withered sort of elf, and he does look, he's got quite a bit of finery about him. He looks like he's got quite a bit of money, shall we say. And he takes a seat at the table after sort of nodding to each of you in turn. And he puts his arms out and says, "Thank you very much, my friends, for responding to the job offer. Hopefully at least this will grant me some form of closure."
Closure for what?
Well, you see, my son, he's gone missing. Well, kind of, in a way, he's gone missing. I suppose I should tell you the whole story. About a year ago, I received word from a number of sources that there was this town in the north that seemed to have a lot of gold just lying around. he'd wear it as jewellery and bracelets and necklaces and earrings and lots of this gold just sort of sitting around doing, well, nothing with no real merchants in the town. So as any merchant would do, I made plans to pack myself up and leave and go to this town and see if I could make any money, effectively. And as I packed to leave, my son came to me and he said, "Papa, I want to be the one that leads his expedition. I feel like I've learned all I can from being in your shadow, and I want to take the lead in this one, and I want to go to this town, this Eisenport, as it was called. I want to work out why there's no merchants, and I want to expand your business and take over and be a proper tradesman in the north. You know, your heart swells with pride when your offsprings finally decide that they want to spread their wings and leave, so I gave him my blessing, and he left with a small mercantile party, and they journeyed north. A couple of months later, I received my first letter from him, and he seemed quite content and quite happy. He seemed like he had found his feet, and despite what I genuinely thought, I'm sure some of you are parents yourselves, and you know that your offspring's first steps usually result in failure, and you're expecting them to fail, but you secretly hope they don't. But my son Dorian, he sounded really hopeful, like he was getting somewhere. And then the next letter arrived. He seemed determined, but he seemed also a bit perturbed, I guess, that he wasn't seeming to get anywhere. Then a month later, the third letter arrived. He seemed obsessive, not like my son. He seemed just kind of crazed in a weird way. And then...
Obsessive? Over what?
Over being a businessman, over getting this contract through. I mean, I blame myself in a way because he's always been trying to, impress me as his father, but I didn't expect him to go to this length, and it was after this letter I began to be concerned, but then I received a final letter to say that he had decided that he didn't want to be a merchant anymore. He wanted to marry. For someone who has never shown interest in, well, the fairer sex, as it were, it seems very strange that he suddenly would decide to, give up on his ambition and marry down, but maybe I'm just a confused old man, but that was my understanding of it. And
so was that like an invitation to the wedding, or?
No, he just said he was going to get married. I have these letters here, I will show you them, but...
How rude.
What happened after was... Next group that went along, I said, please find my son and give him this letter and tell him that, his father still cares and I wish him the best. That group returned. They couldn't find my son. He wasn't there. So the next party that went, I said, please find Ori and find my son. Please give him this note and let him know that his father still cares about him. They went up there and they asked. Apparently no one had even heard of my son. It's getting to the point now that it's been 5 months since his last correspondence and I don't know what's become of him. I don't know if he's moved on and found a new life or if something more sinister is afoot.
I see. Could your son be dead?
One of my advisors has told me that the word use in the last letter does not sound like my son at all, and that he believes that my son has either been captured or is indeed dead.
I see.
I prefer not to believe this. I prefer my son to... Well, obviously I prefer my son to be alive, but I don't want to give up hope on him yet. This is why I've arranged for this party. I feel like asking the men to look in the spare time has not been advantageous, so I want to send a group and pay you properly to investigate this and find what became of my son.
Well, I'm all about reuniting families.
I'm all about money. So your son, the last place the letters came from was from this same town?
Yes, it all came from this Eisenport in the north.
Eisenport. I see.
Was there any trade between your son and you?
We sent him with plenty of gold and plenty of goods with him to the north, and the majority of those goods came back. Well, the mercantile party, but the party were very diminished in size, so a lot of the men decided to stay up in Eisenport.
I see. And from the remaining men who came back, how were they?
They seemed changed. They didn't seem themselves. Many of them took their families and they left. They went to the south.
Did they give a reason?
Some of them just told me that they'd received better offers in the south. Others told me that they wanted to move away from this land because it didn't suit them anymore.
I see. It seems rather odd that everybody who goes to this place has a sudden change of heart, doesn't it?
It's a very strange place in general. I mean, this is why when somebody informed me that this was this place rolling in gold, that it seemed such a strange thing to begin with, but we thought nothing of it. We thought it was just, a town with no connections, effectively.
So when you heard that this town was rolling in gold, your first inclination was to just send or go up there yourself?
Well, as any merchants do, if you don't jump on opportunity, then, you fail. So I thought, well, it's an opportunity to make some money, or at least try.
And you'd never heard of this town before?
It's never been brought to my knowledge before now, no. It's a very small fishing port, apparently.
How far away is it?
It's about 2 days' ride.
And you'd never heard of this town before? Huh.
I don't really spend most of my time looking at small towns. I've made my money in this city, and this city's been my home. I've never encountered anyone even from this small town.
So how did you hear about this town then?
The men that worked for us, we used to do a lot of construction in the sort of carriage sides, and a couple of the men who came back from the north said that there was this town and there was all this gold there, and they said they would never go back, but there was all this gold there that, someone should take a business up there. And, as a merchant, when someone tells you that there's this place rolling in gold, your first reaction is at least to consider it. I mean, opportunity is what makes a fortune.
It does indeed. Well, I guess there's nothing but to go there, check it out ourselves. That's what you're paying us for.
Yes, I'll pay you all 50 gold now, and if you can come back with any information about my son, I will gladly pay you 300 gold each.
That's very generous.
I have learned for many years as a merchant that people may not be loyal to you, but they're very loyal to coin, and I'd rather buy your loyalty if that's what it takes.
Well,
Sold.
consider it had. Yep.
So he hands you each a small bag of 50 gold,
Awesome.
and he goes, as I said, if you have any other questions, I have the letters here if you wish to read them.
I would very much wish to read them. And over the last kind of couple ones, because these are all handwritten, obviously, is there a change in handwriting?
Not that I noticed, but I haven't really looked at them that thoroughly. I mean, I gave them a quick glance over, but it does seem to have roughly the same sort of effect as his normal handwriting, but or not have the best handwriting at best.
I see. Exalted Papa, I have arrived at Eisenport with the rest of the party to begin learning the trade in which you have earned your revered reputation. Truly, this tiny seaside village is a glittering gem, comparable to those that nestle in the glistening jewelry adorning every ear, wrist, and throat. Even the shoe buckles, belt clasps, and other adornments are wrought with the finest goldwork, crafted by a gentleman called Anders, who is coarse but skilled. All the men have been welcomed warmly, given the best decadencies to savor, along with the finest wine of the region has to offer. The village is a pretty picture, and for all that it is a fishing port, smells only of sweet pine, so evocative of our own sylvan home. Here too, Eisenport has been blessed. Even the hardest trawler, working the richest seas, cannot compare to the hauls brought by these women on their delicate skiffs. The women are industrious and pretty, and turn their hands to all labor, that the men may abide at home to better teach the children. An unusual arrangement, but one that appears to serve the town well. On the morrow, I seek an audience with the mayor of the place, and will tell all I can of the matter. Until then, I remain your devoted son, Dorian. Interesting.
Nothing seems wrong there.
Seems like quite a town. He seems quite smitten with the place. Well, this seems like a marvelous place from this letter. Can I have the next one? Revered Papa, this town is not without its mystery. My meeting with the mayor of the town, called here the Mother, progressed apace, with some eager welcome extended to all, and the expressed fervent wish that we should stay if we could. Secretly, I believe they may wish us to turn our hands to their labors, as their own men refuse to do. I have spoken with Anders, the goldsmith, who is jealously protective of his craft. Here I have encountered the first obstacle in my quest to learn your trade. Anders will not sell his pieces for trade to other ports, nor will he reveal the skill he uses in creating such wonders. I made it clear a good and fair price would be paid, but the dwarf will not sell. In the typical stubbornness of his race, he muttered something about a price already paid on the pieces. Such a cryptic nature will make him a challenge for any merchant. I hope to win with the offer of haggling or trade, as well as the Dawn Whisper charm. The charm is certainly working on the ladies of the town. Such hospitality and warmth I've known nowhere else, save our own sweet dell. The ladies guard their jewelry with much jealousy as Anders, but with infinitely more sweetness. This one will claim a piece as a birthday charm, another as a scholarly prize, another still as an heirloom, to the point that they too refuse to sell their pieces. The other offer we had would overwhelm a lesser elf. Such suggestion and flirting is to be remarked upon in a town with no sailors to welcome them. But such body suggestion is firmly meant as simply high spirit. The maids here strictly observe the tenets of their faith, and will not so much as be alone with a man in a room without first being wed. Such chastity, couples with such flirtation, can be distracting, but my heart is strong. I have come here to please you, Papa, and give you pride, and truly this is what I shall do. Until then, I remain your loving son, Dorian.
Well, that's silly. Why would you flirt if you don't mean anything by it? Ugh.
Well, I think this might explain why he wishes to be wed so suddenly.
That would make sense.
I've known many a young man to do much more rash things in pursuit of a woman. Can I have the next one? Papa, forgive the brevity of this letter, and my absence from the returning mercantile party. A discussion was had. It was believed that all of us had been away from our families too long. I did not help that the Eisenport women were driving the men to distraction. Even Bothan, with his beautiful young wife and 3 strapping lads at home, had his eye linger too long on the Eisenport ladies. Luck was with us that only his eye wandered, and he may now look Azrina in the eye upon his return with nary a blush. Papa, I am not satisfied with Eisenport. There is great wealth to be had here, an oyster to be prized open. The rub is discovering where the best place to leverage. Until I advise otherwise, I remain as the trade contact in the north. All requests, reports, and other writings are to be sent on the fastest carriage, or by falcon if urgent. This pearl of a place will be mine. I remain your son, Dorian.
Well, of course he remains your son. That's a silly way to put it.
The boy's
Yes,
respect
but-
for his father wavers with each letter.
Yes, it has a much different feel from it.
Exalted
You-
to reverend to just
Yes,
Papa.
Just Papa. And he
Devoted
ends it
son
with
to loving
the
son,
previous with
just
your
son.
loving son. Yeah. And devoted son. But he's just your son.
And he
the
seems
end.
quite obsessive indeed with this place.
He does.
I think the body language is coming about.
Tell me, have you worked with this Bothan before that he talks about in this last letter?
Bothan used to be one of our most loyal and regular workers, but since he returned from the north, he seemed changed. He took up his family and he seemed to move almost immediately from when he returned, and when I spoke to him, he said that not enough gold in the world would take him back there.
Interesting. And tell me, in your experience in the past, would he be the type to have a wandering eye?
Bothan he's been in my service for 30, 40 years. He's been very loyal, and as far as I'm aware, he's always never had any eyes for anyone other than Ezra.
Strange indeed. And is there another one?
There is one final letter. This is the one that my advisor shows me means my son may be dead.
Father, I have ceased my trade in the north. I have made the decision to settle permanently in Eisenport. I have found a bride, Melia, and ask for your nuptial blessing. I hope we will be as happy as you and mother were, and I hope to raise your children as you have raised me, strong, wise, and full of hope. Dorian. See, this one lacks all familiarity to you at all. At least in the last one, while the adoration of you is clear, and it goes to, I remain your son, Dorian. This is This is something else. I could see how it would be interpreted as being written by somebody else. It does not have the same sound to it at all. And between the second one and the last one, is there any distinct difference in writing? Do they look like they're by a similar person?
Well, I don't think he's ever referred to me as father before.
I see.
Well, either his brain's been taken over or somebody else wrote it. My accent is all over the place. I apologize.
Well, he said he's going to be permanently at Eisenport, so that's where we'll find him if he's anywhere.
But the two parties you sent, they did not even find anything that said he had been there, correct?
The first party, when they arrived, they asked, and the apparent ladies of the town just said they had no idea where he was. They hadn't seen him for a long time. And the next group, when they asked, they were greeted with, "We've never heard that name. Even this Melia, they'd never heard of her either."
Well, that sounds fun.
That is rather odd.
Well, I'm up for a party. My name's Yol Morana. You can call me YOLO. Who are you guys?
I am Ogkhan, Scrolls to Enter, Gothakavi. Nice to meet you.
Ogkhan.
And you'll see he's kind of like a large Goliath, but his stature is kind of cut short by a pretty substantial kind of hunch. He's very hunched over and bent. And rather slim. He doesn't have the characteristic muscles that you would expect for someone of his race.
Gotcha.
I'm Wig, and you'll see a dwarf with very dense head of ginger hair and a massive bushy beard.
It's always good to see another dwarf in the party.
And I'm Gaffy, and you can see he's a tiefling. He has curled horns, or actually he only has one. The other one looks like it'd been sawn off quite some time ago. Fully decked out in armor.
Does
Very
Yolana
nice.
have a beard?
Of course I do.
What's your beard like then?
Long black, currently braided with purple and silver ribbons.
Okay. So the merchant tells you that the caravan to Eisenport leaves in the morning. It will leave just outside this building here. I will pay for your transport there and back. Just be sure you're there in the morning. As I said, it takes 2 days to get there, and it will have an overnight stop in one of these small villages on the way.
I see. And is there a way to contact you if need be?
Well, I will be here in the bar. I mean, I own this tavern, so I will be here.
Okay.
Just for our knowledge, when we get to Eisenport, where would you have sent the falcon that your son requests in the third letter? Where would be that destination?
I think that if I remember right, we were told that there was some sort of tower in the temple at Eisenport, but I don't
Okay.
remember that details, I'm afraid.
All right then. So are we sleeping here tonight or?
You
Huh?
you spend the evening sort of drinking yourself into the ground with the free tab you've got at the bar. And the next morning you are all dragged awake towards this cart. You're all sort of sitting around waiting for this cart to leave, and the cart driver seems to be a single man with a single black horse who stands on the edge of the cart and rings his handbell and says, "Carriage to Eisenport! Leaving soon! Going by Missenden, Bishop Under Puddle, and Limestock Bay."
That seems to be
That's
our
us.
I guess so.
Clamber up.
Driver, tell me, have you been to Eisenport before?
Well, kind of, yes.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Well, I keep my head down. I don't tend to look at things. I get paid
But
a
how
lot
do
of
you
money to not look
drive?
at things, you know. And if I did look
But-
at things, my wife would definitely have something to say about it, so I don't look at things.
I
Oh,
see.
things. Got it.
And are there a substantial amount of these things around?
Oh, yes. There are a lot of them, and they would have you in a heartbeat.
I see.
Me too.
Well, I think they might think your beard's, you know, so they might like you.
Cool. I like being liked.
Interesting. Okay, I'll get in the carriage.
So you all get on the carriage, and it sets off through this very thick, dense forest. And after about 3-4 hours, eventually breaks through this forest. And you see to your left and to your right, there seem to be groups of men and women working on trees, like just forestry groups. You notice immediately that the men are substantially more scrawny than you imagine they would be. They look very thin, either very young or very they don't look like seasoned labourers. They look like sort of your more generic peasant kind of person.
And this is in the forest close to where we're starting out, or kind of close to our destination?
This is the forest just before the first town.
Just before the first town, okay.
Well, they don't grow their men as big as they do down south, do they?
Indeed.
Well, unskilled men may be cheaper.
I don't have time for unskilled men.
You pull into the first town, and the cart driver gets down, attaches a nose bag onto the horse, and says, "Right, this is Missenden. You've got about 2 or 3 hours before old Flash here is good enough to go again."
All right, what's in this town?
As you look around, there is quite a large inn, and a building next to the inn that looks like it could have been like a shop or a merchant or a guild hall, but it looks deserted. It looks covered in like spider webs, and the shutters in the windows look like they're old and quite dilapidated. It doesn't look like it's had much love or much action effectively for a long time. There seems to be a lake behind the inn, and behind you there's lots and lots of what looks like could have been temporary housing, but they've been there a long, long time.
Are there people coming in and out?
There's people coming in and out of the inn. There's 1 or 2 group of men, but majority of the time you see a lot more women than men.
Interesting.
Well, I had enough.
With the people? See if they know anything about what's going on?
You can ask them if you want. You want to stop one in the street, or do you want to go to the inn, or what do you want to do?
Perhaps more information could be found at an inn.
Inns are a flowing place of information.
Yeah.
They're the first place to check in any town.
Very
The
true.
innkeep people have loose lips.
I'm down for loose lips. Let's go grab some ale.
Go to the inn.
Let's do that.
So you all roll into this inn. There's couples like empty tables. There's quite a few men and women here. There's about a 60-40 split, women to men. Again, a lot of the labourers you see are very either scrawny or very young. They don't seem, again, the sort of seasoned veterans you're used to seeing that are foresters. As you enter the inn, you hear the sound of, let's go with activity, upstairs, and the barmaid sort of eyes you as you walk in. What do you do?
I eye her back.
I'll walk over to the barmaid and ask for the strongest thing they have.
She sort of looks you up and down and go, "Are you talking drinking, or are you talking..." And she sort of does a eye gesture to the rooms upstairs.
Fortunately, I only think I have time for one of the 2 activities today. Just the drink.
Well, Tabitha will be free shortly. She's just with a customer.
You can't do both at once, my friend.
Still waiting for my drink.
I've tried. It doesn't go very well. I don't recommend it.
I
Okay,
see.
so she gives you a large jug of ale and serves the rest of you, gives you all drinks as well.
Marvelous. How much does it cost? Does it cost anything? Or?
It costs a couple of gold for you all to get a drink. It's not that expensive.
Okay. And yeah,
I throw 2 gold on the counter.
I will as well.
Okay.
I will.
Thank you, miss. What's your name?
Her name is Sandra.
Sandra.
So where are you all from?
What is the name of our town?
We're from here and there.
Here and there, that'll do.
For now, my home is here. On the morrow, I do not know.
Oh, so you're wanting a room for the night?
No, I believe our carriage is off soon.
Yes.
Oh, so you want a temporary room for the night? And she winks at you, quite obviously.
And if a Goliath can blush, you will see the biggest blush upon his face. Oh no, no. Tell me, we're on our way to Eisenport. You heard of the place?
Can everyone do me a perception check, please, to see the reaction in the room?
I see nothing.
I don't either.
Wow. That's unlike me.
It seems that Yomorana notices that everyone seems to have grown silent and staring at you, whereas the rest of you just haven't noticed at all.
Facing my
Ocken.
mug.
Oh no, sorry, Ocken notices as well. The 2 of you notice that the room has grown silent and people are watching you, and the rest of you haven't noticed at all.
I lean over to Ocken. I don't think they like that question.
The barmaid
that's
sort
how
of...
you know you're asking the right question.
The barmaid sort of makes a sort of sourish look on her face and then just goes, "Well, you know, it's the place where men go."
You know many who return?
She narrows her eyes slightly and says, "Nope.
How about women? Do women go there?
They don't want the women." When they come down to recruit, I've had several times before they've came down to recruit men, and some of our stronger women foresters have went, yep, they'll go, and they've went, no, don't want you.
So what are they recruiting for?
Oh, something about building ships. They usually come down about every 6 months. They've not been down this year for some reason.
Very
And
sexist of them.
would that be why many of your veterans are not here now?
Oh, they
I see
recruited
they-
them ages ago. They recruited everyone. That's why the shop shut down.
Interesting.
They basically took everyone, told them they could earn 3, 4, 5 times what they're earning now, took them away with them. All the widows got back with letters saying they've met their true love in the Golden North.
I did hear there was good money to be made up there.
Apparently there's very good money, so good you don't want to come back to your forestry life or your wife and child.
Well, that's just
Tell me.
not right.
Tell me, Sandra, was your husband one of these men?
No, but I've had to put up with enough women who have had the same problem. I mean, Tabitha there, and she's put points gestures to the room upstairs where you still hear this like sort of... Tabitha there, her husband went up and she's been having to take this job.
Well, I mean, this job's not so bad, right?
Would you like to service 15 men a night?
I can't say I've done that many. Maybe not quite that many.
What was the trade to this town? Much trade to go through this
Oh,
road?
well, we used to be the place you came to hire men, because we used to be the sort of labour capital. But for the last 3-4 years, every time we get abundance of men, Eisenport come down and gather them all up and leave.
And the
Did
strong
anyone
go and the weak
resist? Did anyone not go?
Oh, 1 or 2 of them. I mean, 1 or 2 of the men here have been married for a long time, and their wives have been very insistent that they don't leave despite the money and all their friends going out. But a couple of them have stayed. You don't seem to see them in the bar, though, mainly because the recruiter comes round to the bar, you see, and they don't want them to be met by the recruiter.
And the recruiters, are they all women?
Oh, yes. Anything you see from Eisenport's all female. Decked out in this lavish gold jewellery, make it look like they've got so much wealth. Bitches.
I see. And what would dogs have to do with this?
They're old dogs up there.
Interesting. Well, I thank you for your ear and the information.
She nods and goes, anytime. As the noise upstairs slows down and eventually stops, she goes, and if any of you do want Tabitha, she'll be down in about 5 minutes.
That's quite all right. Thank you.
Can I have another ale?
Yep. She just gets you another ale, serves you, takes money off you.
Marvelous.
Anything stronger?
No, I need to keep my wits about me, and you'll just see, like, he just starts kind of drinking the ale rather quickly. You know, he's avoiding
my
direct eye
barbarian
contact
friend.
with anybody.
It's just life, friend. It's not that big of a deal. Come on.
I prefer books to life. That's why they call me Scroll Squinter.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Well, you gotta get out there and live a little.
Well, you can live a lot through a book. You
But what's
read
the
it
fun
and
of
you're
that?
suddenly somewhere else. You're a different man. You're strong, or you're brave, or you're a mighty wizard, or, you know, you can live a lot through a book.
So at this point, you see someone walking down the stairs who just looks like every other labourer, just sort of walking down the stairs, just sort of whistling to himself, readjusting his belt as he walks out the door.
Is he
Looks
scrawny
like another
or?
happy customer.
He seems relatively scrawny. He doesn't seem, well, he seems like everyone else. Like, they've probably got some muscle to them, but they're not, like, overly muscular, as it were.
Right.
They're all a bit thin for my taste.
A couple more minutes later, a girl in a very tattered-looking red dress begins to make her way very gingerly down the stairs.
This would be Tabitha, I presume.
She gets to the bottom of the stairs and almost like staggers to the bar and seems to be like propping herself up on the bar. She throws a couple of gold coin, gets a nail off the barmaid and just almost downs it. And she looks like she's in a dazed world of her own.
Is she okay? Is she always like this? Are you okay, madam?
She looks, you give me a perception check.
Okay.
She seems dazed, but that's about as much as you can tell from it. And she sort of goes, huh? Oh, 10 gold gets you 15 minutes. I just need to finish this ale first. Just money up front. And she tries to chug back the ale, but seems to be struggling. You notice at this point her hands are trembling.
How much just for you to sit and talk here for a little while?
She sort of looks at you and says, "Is you want pillow talk or do you want normal talk?"
I have some questions that need to be answered, and they may be hard to say.
Oh,
I think it might
hard
be
to say. I get you. Big strong boy, yeah, get you. And she seems to drink her ale.
No. I don't mean anything
I
like
put a
that.
hand on your shoulder. Hey, try to let me give this a shot. Tabitha,
Yep, do your perception check when you're talking to her.
could we just maybe go have a little girl-to-girl chat about this?
Again, she just seems dazed to you. She goes, "Okay," and she gets back to her feet. She seems quite wobbly on her feet, but she moves to a table next to the bar and sits down.
Okay, I move over. I have no idea what you were going to ask her, but okay. So, Tabitha, how long have you been doing this?
And she slugs back more ale and goes, 5 months.
Oh, honey, every day?
Yep.
Do you have children?
I have a son. If he's about somewhere. I don't let him into the inn. The customers got kind of confused if they saw him, you know?
How old is he?
He's 8? Yeah,
Oh,
8.
and do you live close by?
Oh, he's usually about somewhere. If you see him, ask to buy a basket off him. He needs to sell more of those.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, honey, I've had to take care of all of my siblings. I know how hard that can be. And you don't have anywhere around here to potentially help you, do you?
She sort of looks at you quite confused and goes, "What do you mean?"
Well, if there's market stalls, you can sometimes, sneak a loaf of bread, a block of cheese. Don't go for cheese wheels. Cheese wheels are terrifying. But, sometimes you can make things work.
I used to craft things before Thomas left. I used to craft things. But then we had a shop, and she sort of seems to have a faraway look in her eye, and she goes, "This shop outside. We used to
When did
sell
Thomas leave?
things, but then he left." And she seems very slurry at this point, and seems to get lost in thought. And you notice her seem to drift away, and then snap back and just slug back her ale.
Oh, and he left you for Eisenport, didn't he?
I didn't want him to go, but he got offered several hundred gold just for a month's work, and I guess everyone's got their price.
Oh, well, you charge more and you take fewer visitors a night, because you can't keep this up, honey.
I can't charge anymore. I have to cut with the barmaid, because it's the only way I get the bed for this. I used to do it in the alleyway. You don't want to do it in an alleyway.
Been there, done that. Not the best idea.
Or that guy that wants to do it in the lake. Just, never again.
I hope you charged him 3 times your normal price.
Oh, I tried to, but my dress floated off into the lake and I never got it back.
Oh,
That was a
is she
bad
about
night.
my size?
She's about normal sort of thin human size, so she's about maybe 5.5 foot.
So, do I happen to have an extra dress or something along with me? Could I?
You might do, yeah.
Okay, so can I give her my dress and say, this will be a bit short and you might have to take it in on the sides, but here, honey, you need something else.
She takes it from you and holds it up and goes, "It's a little short, then again, I might help with business."
Right?
And she puts it over her shoulder and thanks you. And she
We'll
sort
try
of pokes
to bring
holes in the
Thomas
dress
back
she's
if
got
we
at the
can.
moment. She goes, "The only advantage of this is people know where I am because it's red."
That's true.
Again, she seems to be slightly spinning in her seat.
Oh, honey. And I slide 10 gold her way as well.
"Oh, you want to go on?"
No, honey. This is just for talking to me. You take care of yourself, okay?
She sort of looks at you quite confused and goes, "Oh, okay.
You're all your son has. You be good to you.
He'll be fine. He's good enough of his father and him. He'll become a merchant eventually after making enough baskets. Then you'll leave me and go Eisenport.
We'll see what we can do about Eisenport.
That sounds rather ominous. Good with the husband questions. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
She's rather intimidating.
Don't do well with the pretty ladies, do you?
I do well with pretty ladies. Like I could talk to you, but
thanks.
Never mind. The books are enough. That's all I'll say. And he'll put some more gold on to get one more drink.
You might want to slow down there, my friend.
Have you?
Well. The thing about it, my friend, is body mass. I know I'm rather slim, but my metabolism can keep up. I may not be the strongest of my kind, but I do have the constitution.
I see.
And he'll kind of sit at the bar, and he's kind of, getting a little bit introspective, kind of nursing his cup of ale.
Well, this seems to be spreading. Eisenport seemed to be just the start, and it's made its way out here.
Yeah, and
they're building ships.
They say they're building ships.
They're building ships.
It'll be interesting to see if there's actually ships.
Maybe
Why wouldn't
they
there be?
take men just for breeding. Maybe that's how they've grown so much.
Well, there is good to take the strong and leave the weak for that purpose, I suppose. And then your children are stronger and they grow up bigger, and yes, your tribe flourishes. You weed out the young and the weak.
Fair.
Survival of the fittest. This is interesting.
Did you decide to go to do anything else while you're in the inn?
I think
really.
we've got what we need, don't we? Unless you
Yeah,
want to go check out the boarded up merchant place.
I've got the information I need. It is... Oh, I've forgotten her name already. Lady in the red dress. Is she... Tabitha. Is she still here?
She's still there, sort of finishing the beer that she had.
Tabitha, do you happen to have any of your husband's wares left?
She looks at you quite confused and she says, "Oh, my son will have a couple of things. Well, my son makes baskets, as I said. If you ask him, he might have one or two spoons we used to make lying around. He might be in the shop next door. It depends where he's decided he wants to be today. He likes going back there. It has too many bad memories for me."
Okay. Well, then I must speak to the boy. I appreciate your time.
And she nods, and at this point you hear and the barmaid sort of points to a guy standing at the end of the bar, like with holding like 10 gold in his hand, and Tabitha goes, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
I can take care of him if you want to take a break.
She just looks at you quite confused and says, "If you want, quit."
I walk up to him. Hey, you looking for a little something something?
He sort of looks at you and goes, he's not sure what, like, he never really had an interaction with a dwarf, and he's like, I was looking for the girl.
What do you think I am?
A dwarf.
Fine. I'm sorry, Tabitha. He's not having me.
She lurches back to her feet and goes, It's fine. She sort of looks at him and goes, sort of like she's trying to focus on him, and goes, "Oh, it's Gerald. Oh, fuck. Come on then, Gerald." And the guy sort of like grins and leads the way up the stairs as she sort of slowly trips after him.
That poor woman.
Poor. 10 gold is an awful lot of money.
That's not what I meant. And I walk out into the street to head over to the shop.
Okay.
Yeah, go maybe find the son who's selling baskets.
On the way out, I want to go to the carriage driver.
Okay.
On our way to the shop if possible.
Okay. So you go with the carriage driver. What you want to do?
How much is a trip back for two people from this town?
You mean to the city, or do you mean
Just to the city.
about 10 gold?
10 gold. Good. Aye. For both of them, yeah?
Aye. 10 gold all in.
Good to know. And I'll catch up with the group heading to the shop.
Okay. So
Like
you
you're
head in-
thinking.
So you go into the shop, As you push the door open, there's a slight dingle of a small shop bell, and you see in front of you there's a small boy who looks about 8, who looks like he's sitting cross-legged on the floor making baskets, and all around him are old boxes and barrels and stuff that look empty.
I was told this is a shop.
Oh, hi there. I'm Tim, and I sell baskets. Do you want a basket?
I will take a basket. Tell me, do you have anything else? I heard your father was a merchant in here.
Oh, and he sort of looks around in a couple of the boxes, and you hear a sort of rustling noise, and then he pulls out the spoon.
Well, that looks like quite a piece of craftsmanship.
Yeah, my mummy made it. Would you like to buy the spoon?
I would. Yeah, I'll buy the spoon.
He tells you that the baskets are 4 gold and the spoon is 3 gold.
Okay, I will buy a spoon and a basket.
He goes, thank you. Are you staying in this town?
No, we're only here a couple of hours.
Oh.
And then we're moving on.
Oh, well, if you are going to stay, my mummy gives special cuddles in the inn, and she told me to tell all the men I see that she gives very special cuddles, and they have to go and speak to her.
Yes,
He nods
yes,
he's
that's
quite
how-
happy that he's remembered something.
Yes, she's actually the one who told us about your fine baskets.
Oh,
Yes.
I've already gotten enough word cuddles from your mom. It was very pleasant.
he looks quite confused and goes, you can't cuddle with words.
I agree with the boy. It's an impossibility. Oh,
It's a girl thing. Don't worry about it.
But cuddling is a physical act that involves.
Wick's gonna walk up to the boy. Sir, there's a carriage outside. When it comes back from Eisenport, I hand him 25 gold. You and your mother take it to the city.
Oh, but what if Daddy comes back?
We're going to find your daddy, and he'll meet you in the city.
Oh, but he will want to go back to our home, and I've kept the garden all nice, even though Mummy's told me he's not coming home. He is coming back, and he'll want to see the garden I've made for him.
Oh.
Once you've been to the city, and you've met with your dad, you can come back here.
Oh,
But the city would be a nice break from your mum's cuddles.
does she not like cuddling strange men?
Too much cuddling can make a woman tired,
Oh,
and your mummy just needs a break.
she does seem tired. She doesn't smile much anymore.
And if you and your mum go to the city, it'd be a nice break for your mummy.
Okay, I will tell her that we've to go to the city.
Good boy. And I'll ruffle his hair.
Okay. So, yeah, he's just intently sitting on the floor, continuing to make baskets. You wanted to ask him anything else?
I don't need to ask him anything else, but can I kind of look at the spoon? It looks pretty nicely made and stuff.
It's a single crafted wooden spoon that seems to be made from one piece of wood.
Impressive.
Yes.
Why doesn't she make these to sell?
Mummy told me that these take several hours to make, whereas and he sort of looks like he's trying to remember the words and goes, a shot in the mouth is easier. I don't know what she means, but apparently it's something to do with things I'm not meant to know.
Yes, maybe when you're older.
Yeah.
She doesn't like talking to me about it. I only know this because that's what she told Janine.
I see. Well, you should talk to your mummy about your baskets, and you use the money. You get the money to make better baskets so that you can get more money for them, and then you compound that by making even better baskets.
Okay,
and you build yourself.
It's okay. He's 8.
I asked her if I should do cuddles as well, and she told me absolutely not, and I've not to go near the inn.
I would agree with your mother. Stay away from the inn.
Yeah. No.
Not for children. And put Yolarama. Why can't I explain economics to the boy? It's never too early to learn. He's trying to be a merchant, and here. Actually, I've got a book on the topic, and you'll be taking your backpack off, searching through, and he's like, "Here," and he'll give it to the boy.
While he's ruffling around, while you're in the city, maybe you can find someone to help you make baskets a little bit better. Maybe get yourself a steadier stream of gold.
Oh, I was told that you can't sell, and he again looks up and goes, tat in the city, that people will just trample on it and kick it away.
Maybe don't sell it yourself, but maybe you work for a carpenter or some guild and make it for them, and they sell it, and then they give you money.
Oh, and he looks quite happy at this point. And he says, I will try and make more baskets before we leave then.
Good boy.
Marvelous. Yes. Yes. Do that.
Okay, we're done. Let's.
Yep. As you walk back outside, you hear the handbell ringing and the carriage for Eisenport leaving shortly, going by Bishop Under Puddle and Limestock Bay.
That would
That's
be
us.
English names. Okay.
Also, that was the most exasperated "Are we done?" I've heard from you in a long time.
As we get to the carriage drive, when he comes back through, there is a woman and child to go with him, and he doesn't leave without them.
Alright, well, if they're paying customers, then that's fine.
They have the gold.
Alright, well, if they're here when I'm back, then I'll take them happily. Don't know where they're gonna go in the city, but...
Better than this place.
Alright,
that's all from
if they've
point
got
of
the
view.
gold, as I said, they'll be welcome on the cart. Me and Fleshy will have no problem with them.
Very
Okay.
good.
Well,
Onto the cart.
yes, best to disembark. You know, I'm eager to get to our destination.
So you head out of Missenden, and you journey along the road, and eventually you cross this quite dilapidated old stone bridge into this town in the middle of the lake, and you see a medium-sized-ish temple and quite a large inn, and again this temporary housing next to the inn, and there's a huge lake all the way around the town.
Are there people about? And if so, does it seem like the same type of thing, or most of the men are gone?
This time, when you look around, it seems the only men you see are definitely have got women either on their arm. There's not any individual groups of men like there were in the last town. And as you sort of look around, they seem various sizes. This town, at least, they don't all seem scrawny, but the ones that are here very much seem like they're very taken and are not being left alone.
Okay.
And as you pull into the town centre, there is a plinth with a crutch on the top of it that says St. Randolph's Crutch. So, what are you going to do?
Assuming this is another 2-3 hour layover.
The carriage driver climbs off the cart, he unhooks the horse and says, right, I'll be taking Flash here to crash in the stables, we'll be leaving first thing in the morning. And it's about 9 o'clock at night at the moment, so it's basically an overnight stay.
Gotcha.
Are there any shops in town, or
Just seems to be the inn and the temple.
just the inn and the temple? Well, if we need to stay overnight, I guess the inn is a place to go.
I would agree.
Okay. As you get off the cart, you notice 2 or 3 girls outside the inn immediately take interest in you, walk up and say, hi, do you want company tonight?
Hi, honey.
Hi, do you want company tonight? And she runs her fingers through your beard.
Oh, that's very nice of you. But I don't think I need that kind of company.
Oh, but I can do anything you want. I'm very flexible.
Flexible, you say?
She gives you a very obvious wink. Only 5
I'm
gold
usually
for
on the
15
other end
minutes.
of this.
5 gold? That's like half the price of the last one, Yolorama.
It's true.
Wow.
Maybe you should give it a try.
I'm okay. I think I best be getting to the inn.
So you're just going to walk past them, or are you going to... There's about 2 or 3 of them still standing around.
He's going to gently try and get past them.
Okay.
Kinda, yeah. He's gonna try and skirt round the outside of this gathering.
Gigantic Goliath just skirting around the edge, yeah.
Yep.
Are they attractive?
They're reasonably attractive. They're not completely horrible, but they're just, I'd say, just above average.
Either of you interested? Referring to Wig and Gaffy.
I am good, thank you.
Okay.
I'm fine for tonight. I'll just push through the middle of them to go to the inn.
So all of them now are over at Yo, and they're very much playing with her hair and her beard, and being like, you can have all of us for only 5 gold each.
Oh man, that's tempting. You know what? I should probably stay with my party, and none of them are interested. Thank you very much, though. And I slip 1 gold into each of their bodices.
They all seem slightly saddened that you're not doing it, and they go, "But we love dwarven men," and just sort of lean down, sort of whispering into your ear.
Oh, honey. Then you have just dodged a major bullet.
They look slightly
And I
confused
go
as you
into
walk
them.
into the inn. So, you walk up to the inn serves you basic food and beer. As you ask for rooms for the night, the barman gives you a sort of raised eyebrow and says, "That with company or without?"
Without.
Without.
"Are you sure? We've got a good deal for Cassandra and Lexa over there."
Without.
"Alright, well, if you change your mind, just come down and tell me. All discreet in that, you know."
Yes.
Are they individual rooms? Or are we all bunking together?
Basically, the best deal you can get is the room with you all kind of sharing the same room. Unless you particularly want individual rooms.
I'm okay with anybody.
What's the price difference?
It's like 10 gold for a room that shares the 4 of you, or like 3 gold a room individually.
If you guys are not opposed, I will bunk, as you say, with all of you.
As long as there's room.
Yes, I do take up space.
How many beds are in a room?
There are 4 beds in the room.
Oh, I don't even need to bed down with the other dwarf.
And where would this room be?
Oh, they're all upstairs, and she gestures to a top of a set of stairs, and there's like 3 or 4 rooms up there.
Okay.
Last room on the left is yours.
Okay.
As I
that's
said,
room.
if you want Cassandra or Alexa up later, just come down and tell us.
We'll do that. Thank you.
I'm sure she'll do a good rate for all of you if you're all wanting some company.
I best be off to the room, and he'll throw his portion in with you guys. He'll pass it over, and he's gonna make his way up the stairs.
Okay. So are you doing anything else this evening, or are you just all going to sleep?
He's gonna read a book.
Okay.
That makes for great audio.
All right, I'll be at the bar. I'm assuming there's a bar.
Yep.
And talk to the barkeep.
Okay.
Say, so have you heard about what's going on in Eisenport?
Once again, everyone grows sort of silent as you mention the name, and she goes, "By what's going on? Do you mean something about all them men going up there and never coming back?"
Yeah, that's pretty much what I mean. They don't seem to have taken your men.
Well, she looks around, and at this point you kind of clock that there's like a 70-30 split women to men. And she's like, "They've taken a fair few of them, put it that way.
Well,
We used to have a big fishing community down here, but the last about 5 years they seem to have all disappeared to go up to this Eisenport. When
And
that
none of them
fella
have come
comes
back?
through asking for more men, we tell her to fuck off now, but that's just our own opinion.
does this trollop have a name?
It's always different every time. She always looks the same, though. Young and perky with all those gold jewelry all over her. She spits on the floor.
And when did these trollops start coming into town to recruit your men?
Oh, they used to always make their way down south to Missenden. Been doing it for about 10 years, but it's getting more frequent. Used to be once every year, now it's about twice a year. Haven't seen them since the spring, though.
What time
And what time of year is it?
now? Yeah.
Usually they come about spring and fall. Are you married?
No, I can't say that I am.
Good. Hate to think I'm watching another man go up there to send his wife that he's met his dream woman in the north.
Oh, no, we're actually going up there to see if we can figure out what the appeal is.
The appeal?
Yeah,
Offer them
I mean-
gold. Men are easy swayed by gold, and Eisenport seem to be swayed by cock.
Well,
Okay then.
yeah. All right, thank you for your time.
No, you hang up.
All right, I'm going to go sleep now.
Okay. So are you all going to sleep now?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no more information, I think.
Okay, so you all rest, and the next morning you wake up and you are sitting around a table eating food, and you notice the cart driver begin to start attaching the horse to the cart.
Excellent.
So are you going to look around here at all, or are you just going to wait for him to finish and then leave?
Do we want to check out the temple?
The temple? Yeah, the temple would be nice. That sounds good. Yes.
All right.
As long as we get done before the cart leaves.
As long as we're on the cart, that's all that matters.
All right, let's go fast so we make sure we're back.
Okay, so you go up to the temple. It seemed quite a normal looking temple, and as you get to the top of the small stairs leading up into it, notice the floor is made of stone. There are a couple of pews on the left and right, but they're mostly quite far back. And at the front there's like a large area that looks like it's for praying, and there seems to be a sort of an elderly looking priest on his knees praying at the front, and in front of him seems to be, it looks like it's either a statue of a very large dwarf or an incredibly fat man in a very wide-brimmed hat.
That's an interesting statue.
And the statue seems to have a crutch under his left arm.
Ah.
Does he have both his legs?
He does.
Father, can I speak to you for a moment?
The priest turned around and said,
Welcome, welcome, friends, to the Temple of St. Randolph. Are you here on the pilgrimage, my children?
No. I was actually just curious about St. Randolph.
Okay, what would you like to know?
Who was he?
Oh, St. Randolph was a wonderful man. We celebrate him, of course, here, but he was a saint that promoted plenty and sharing all your food and having a good time with friends, and whenever he went anywhere, he would say, share the food, and all of his followers would share all their food, and we'd have this banquet and friends and good company, and it would promote a better life.
Oh, that's very interesting. It must be quite a task to get that big when you're sharing all your food.
Well, St. Randolph always famously had a bag of nuts, but that's about all he really had on him ever to share, but they were apparently very nice nuts. I never tried them. I only met him once when I was a child, but
I bet he had a bag of nuts.
he was a very holy man. He kept himself to himself, and I will always remember his final words he said when he left this place. He said, "Fetch me my lunch. I go to climb the mountain to prove that bastard wrong."
What bastard?
Well, we actually have no recorded idea who the bastard is, but it must have been very religious. I mean, a man of St. Randolph's size doesn't try and climb a mountain every day.
That would seem correct, yes. Especially a man who needs to use a crutch.
Well, you see, he was prone to falling over. That's why he had the crutch. He was quite unstable on his feet, but he still wanted to climb the mountain to the south.
And did he?
Well, no. He died of starvation quite early on because he ate all his supplies on the way there.
Wow.
But we keep his memory alive, and, we built this statue. We have one similar on the top of the mountain. It only took us several months to get it up there with how big it was.
But he never made it up there, so why...
Well, it was the principle of the thing, you see.
Oh, okay. Did you find a bastard up there?
No, we've searched many times to try and find out who the bastard he was referring to was, but all we know about St. Randolph, really, is that he came from overseas. He declared he was going to walk from Eisenport to this place. He did about 10 meters and then got in a cart and took the cart here. And then he got here and he proclaimed plenty and he stayed here for many months. And then he got this temple built, and then he left to go and climb the mountain.
So by whose standards is he a saint?
Well, by our standards, we praise him. For all of his failings, he did promote plenty and, good company, and that's what we should praise in this world.
I see. And how long was he climbing this mountain before you...
If I remember right, I was about... maybe my 20s when I came here first I came from Missenden, you see, and I became a devout priest of St. Randolph, and he left when I was around 20, maybe 24, and I remember several months after he left, I remember receiving notification that he had passed on. So he didn't survive very long, I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, several months without food, a man of his mass, he could survive quite a while off of his girth.
Well, he took a whole cart's worth of food with him. We didn't expect him to have any problem climbing the mountain, but apparently he must have, had a problem
Perhaps
somewhere.
he shared it along the way.
Well, I imagine, being St. Vandolph, that he, shared all the food all the way along whenever he stopped to have one of the banquets that he's famous for. I mean, it's a 2-day ride to the mountain at least. I mean, he easily could have had, a couple of banquets on the way.
Fascinating.
Well, that was a marvelous story. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And is this statue to scale, or?
Well, this one is slightly smaller than the one on the mountain, but it's about to scale of St. Vandolph. He was a rather rotund man. Very holy, didn't believe in the procreation, shall we say.
Oh, yes.
And before you ask, and I know some people will think it's funny, and I don't want you to think it's funny, I want you to know the truth. It's not just because he was so fat he couldn't procreate, with being, smaller down there. It was because he was holy and he kept himself pure. He didn't want to procreate.
So you're telling me he could have shared his nuts if he wanted to?
He could have shared his seed if he wished, yes, but he chose not to.
See.
He kept himself pure, as all saints should.
Yes, I see.
Maybe that makes you a saint, and I nudge Ogden.
I don't.
Shall we go back to the carriage?
At this point, you hear the bell ringing for the carriage, and it's like,
Carriage to Eisenport, stop in at Limestock Bay.
I thank you for your time. That's actually our carriage. I must be off. I appreciate the story.
Well, if any of you do want to do the pilgrimage of St. Randolph, you start in the north and you come down here, then we have a shared meal, and then you go down to the mountain and, do what St. Randolph couldn't by climbing that mountain.
Okay.
That sounds like fun. Maybe I'll do
think
that.
about it when we return from the north.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go make my way to the carriage.
so you all get on the carriage, and you head off out of Bishop Under Puddle, and the rest of the journey to the next place, it's relatively easy. It's a nice calm day, no real problems. Eventually you come over this hill, and the stench of limestone and dead fish hits you as you look down into this small town that looks like it was a fishing village, but it's hit really hard times. From here it looks already quite dilapidated. There's an inn at the back. There looks like a gigantic fish market in the middle, and next to the road on the way out there looks like some kind of weird looking statue pointing towards the road. And as you get closer to the town centre, all you hear is fish! Bye fish! And as you look out the window, as I said, the stench of rotting fish is getting you, but there's all these blotchy women with red patches all over their faces and 2 or 3 teeth between them and scraggly hair, and they all look quite overweight and wearing these ill-fitting robes. And as soon as they see your cart appear, they start running over, holding these fish in their hands, going, "You want to buy my fish, don't you?" And these fish have got bulging eyes and white round the gills and green ichor dripping from the mouth. They don't look healthy at all. And one of them has got an eel and it's waving the eel at you. The eel also looks quite sickly, it's got blotches all the way down, and it's got bite marks all the way down as well. It just doesn't look healthy at all. And as the cart pulls up, the driver leans to you all and just goes, "Now I know the locals don't seem very friendly, and they're not, but we're only here for about an hour.
This is gonna be a long hour.
Would you recommend we stay here at the cart?
You can do what you want, just don't start a riot again. We've had a lot of those recently.
Riot? That could be fun.
The women like to fight, let's put it that way." As he pulls the cart up and gets off and starts attaching the nose bag onto the horse.
And as you do this, the woman leans through the window and goes, "You want my fish, don't you?" And like almost like slaps you in the face with it. "Only a gold. I caught it this morning. You want this, don't you? It's lovely, lovely fish, lovely fish."
Listen, the only fish I enjoy is not in that shape.
What do you mean? It's lovely fresh fish. Caught it this morning.
Is there you said there's an inn.
There's an inn, yes.
What do you mean, Yolorama? Like an eel or a catfish or, there's
Oh, my poor
ray of
Akon.
some sort?
Let's just go to the inn. Let's go have an ale here.
Okay. So as you try and get out the car, this like group of about 6 or 7 women are all going,
Come on, buy fish. Buy this fish. It's lovely, lovely fresh fish. Lovely fresh fish. Buy this fish. Buy my fish.
I'm going to have my hammer in hand and just look really pissed off as I walk through.
We will buy your fish if you take us to the inn.
What?
Fine. Only a couple of gold.
All right. I give the gold and take the fish.
Okay, a couple of them begin to fight over who got the gold, and then a riot breaks out between the women who start fighting over what gold you've just given them.
That's what I was trying to stop.
No, ladies, I would also like to buy a fish.
Immediately the riot stops and all of them leap over to you and say,
Do you want this one?
and almost twats you in the face with this. All you can smell is this weird, disgusting fish. And as you look at Okan, he's got this green goo just running down his face.
And he'll hold out his basket that he very nicely purchased. I would like one from each of you. Yes.
But why are you buying from her? Her fish stink. My fish are far better. You want to buy more from me than you want to buy from her.
Variety is the spice of life.
Not that you would know.
I have many varied tastes. I read fiction and nonfiction, and some horror genres. There's some historical tale, contemporary postmodernism. I have many varied tastes. So I would like one fish from each of you, and I have gold.
There's a lot of grumbling as a lot of them aren't happy that you're buying fish from other ones, but eventually they form a sort of queue and they start throwing down fish into this basket and taking gold off you.
Okay. How many of them do
You've got about 60 fish in this basket.
Oh.
You have no gold left. You have just used all your gold to buy fish now.
Okay. Yep. I thank you. Yep.
Okay, so you have a basket full of very old, very rotting fish.
You are not bringing that back in the carriage.
This didn't turn out as I expected.
But at least they didn't riot.
That was the thought. Yes.
No right yet, at least.
Yeah, we still have to go back.
Well, now they've sold their fish, hopefully.
Yeah. How do they catch those fish? They look dead already.
You can go to the lake and have a look if you want.
Well, I would like to
Actually,
see
let's
this
do
lake.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you walk round the edge of the inn and you look at the water. You see some fish bobbing up and down the water and them like hooking them in with like hooks on sticks and then like cutting the worst bits off the fish and throwing them in a bag.
Oh.
Ugh, yuck.
And I'll get the basket. Are any of the ladies I bought fish from around?
1 or 2 of them are like fishing, cooking fish in from the lake.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna put the fish in the lake that I bought. It seems like this might be their business model. And yeah, I'm gonna the dead stinking fish back in there to let them drift off.
Okay, so you pour these fish back in. Some of them just land with a very wet as they pour back in. The basket's now covered in a sort of thick layer of this green slime as this like vast puddle of fish just drifts slowly out towards the middle of the lake.
I see. Okay.
Yolo has turned and run back to the inn because she's about to hurl.
Yeah, I'll head after her.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you get to the inn, you notice a very fragile-looking girl stands up and goes, "Only 2 gold if whatever you want." And she does a very lazy dance and tries to smile. She's got 2 teeth in her head. And she begins to unbutton her top and just reveals this like mass red sores underneath.
Oh, honey.
No.
2
No, I don't
gold.
think you-
Anything you want.
I'm fresh out of gold.
When you say
take
girl,
fish,
do you
I
mean like
guess.
a young girl?
If you saw her from behind, you'd say she probably looks about mid-20s. But when you see her face, it looks like she's had a very hard working life and she looks maybe about 40.
I don't know how to respond to this one.
Here's 4 gold, and we don't want anything from you. Thank you.
She takes the gold and sort of looks at you quite confused and says, I do a really good job. You know, I've not got many teeth. It's quite nice.
Oh, that would be an improvement.
Here's 3 gold for you to not talk to us anymore.
She takes the 3 gold and goes, fair enough. And you notice her absently scratching.
Yes.
Let's get inside.
I don't know if I want to eat or drink anything here.
We could just go back to the car.
Can we please? I'd like to go back to the car.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Going back to the car?
Maybe talk to the talk to the cart driver. Did we get his name? I don't think so.
His name is Julian.
Julian. So Julian, how long has this town been like this?
This place has been going downhill for a long time.
I mean, how do they survive?
Well, there's the limestone pits, you see, and he gestures just beyond the lake, and there's these, like, obvious, like, dips and, like, a quarry. He goes, all the younger ones, they work in there. All the ones that can't work in there, so they sell fish. It's a shame, really. You see, a lot of the younger ones come with, like, significant problems, shall we say. But
Yes.
it's a life. They sell limestone.
I don't know if I'd call it life. Ugh.
Yes. I would recommend, Julian, don't buy the fish.
Oh, I have learned that. I got the runs once, never again. Plus, the last time anyone I took on a road bought a fish, it had worms inside.
Yes. Utterly ruined my basket.
I'd say you probably should wash that, but don't wash it in the lake, it'll just make it worse.
Yes, it seems like that might be the case. Maybe we'll hang it off the back of the cart, let the fresh air get to it as we move, keep it downwind of
You
us.
can but hope, I suppose.
Or you could just throw it away.
It is, yeah.
But the poor boy, he spent so much time on it. It would be hate.
He also got his money for his time.
Yes.
I suppose. And he'll just kind of place the basket on the ground.
Okay. As he prepares to leave, you notice that he moves the cart up towards the exit, and you notice that what looked like a statue before is in fact a gallows, where it looks like someone's still hanging from it, and their arm has been pinned to the north, sort of pointing towards the north, and above the sort of swinging body there seems to be a sign that says, "We don't abandon our gods."
Oh.
Julian, do you know what that's about?
Well, I've not really asked, because you're better not to ask in this town, because they'll just punch you. But from what I'm understanding, it's someone from Eisenport came down and tried to recruit some men, and then apparently came down and tried to tell the ladies here that they could be a part of the community. Go up to Eisenport, forget all about this town and live there, and, worship their god. And the ladies here said, we worship the fish god. And Eisenport said, that's stupid, we have a better god than you, and they just killed her. That's my vague understanding anyway, I don't really know well, you'd have to ask the ladies.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, I'll just take it for that.
So are you doing anything else before you leave this town?
Nope.
Don't think so.
No,
Run away.
Yeah. Swiftly.
Okay, so you head off on the northern road towards Eisenport, and after about another couple of hours on the cart, you again come down this sort of, kind of like a sort of cliff edge, and you kind of come round it, and it leads you towards this small town of Eisenport. Immediately, unlike the last few towns that have got progressively poorer as you've gone north, immediately you get a sense of expense, and everything looks solid, all the buildings look solid and well cared for and well kept. And as you drive into the village, in front of you there's like fountains, and there's lots of girls with beautiful golden jewellery, like bracelets down their arms and rings and earrings and necklaces and all this just gold just glittering all over them. And in front of you there's this quite large temple, and there's a road that seems to sort of curve around the temple and down behind it. And along the edge of this road you have a schoolhouse, a jailhouse. It will look like two separate inns, one called the Stork and one called the Braggard's Rest. At the bottom of the road you have a small stall which seems to be manned by a rather frantic looking dwarf, and there seems to be a couple of other people there with him, and then there's the docks at the bottom. You also notice as you pull in there are several pregnant women walking around. So as you pull in, the cart driver goes, "Right, well, as it's getting late, I'm going to take Flash to the stable. We'll probably leave to go back down the day after the morrow, but if you need us for any reason, we'll be in the stable."
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you, Julian.
He leads the horse down to where it looks like it's near Anders' stall.
Well,
So where'd you guys suggest we begin?
He's a merchant, so maybe the docks?
Possibly.
Could try the blacksmith or maybe the temple. That's where the falcons would have been sent.
Oh,
That is
that's right.
True. All good places.
well,
Temple sounds good.
Temple. Yeah, let's go to the temple. Temple sounds good.
Okay, so you walk up towards the temple and you pass a couple of youngish looking girls, look about early 20s, who seem to be very kind of taken by the fact that there are now men in the town. And as you walk into the temple itself, you see two pregnant women sort of wandering around, like tidying up it looks like. And in the middle of the temple itself, there's like pews on the left and the right, and at the back of the room in the middle. And the front of the room, there's like this gigantic altar covered in like hundreds and hundreds of candles that are all lit. And behind the altar there's this stone mural. It looks like a woman standing on the sea with her arms outstretched as in welcoming. In front of the altar there seems to be a woman who, she seems to have more gold than anyone else. She's got this like bracer on her left arm, like solid, thick gold bracer on her left arm, and she seems to have a hood up. As you walk into the temple, you notice that as the other girls react to you, she turns round and pulls her hood back, and she's got this like almost shower of gold down her neck, with all this like fine net of gold, and she goes, "Ah, welcome, welcome. Are you here to work in our fine city?"
No, not quite. I'm actually here looking for a friend of ours.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. What's her name?
Actually, her name is
Dorian.
Melia.
Oh, her.
Melia. No, I don't know Amelia. I mean, I know all my girls. I don't know Amelia. I mean, did she come and visit you and bring you back here? I mean, have you been writing her? Is there anything else I would know her as?
No, the letters only say Melia.
Melia?
Yes.
No, I'm very sorry. I don't know Amelia.
Is there any way I can tell if she's maybe lying to me?
You can roll perception.
Okay, let's roll.
Nope. As far as you can tell, she's telling complete truth.
Yep, that sounds about right for me. I see. Yes.
What a beautiful necklace you have.
Oh, thank you, my child. This was gifted to me by my girls when I became the matriarch.
Oh, you're the matriarch.
Yes.
It's good to meet you. What is your name?
Well, I haven't used my normal name for a long time. I'm very content to just be known as the matriarch.
Very well.
Yes.
What is your name, young dwarven man?
I'm waiting for Wig to speak up.
Wig is my name.
Ah, hello there. Have you come to be part of our community?
No.
I see. That is a shame.
I was heard there was a merchant who came through this way a while back.
A merchant, you say?
As an
I haven't
old
had one
friend
of them in a
mine.
long time. What were they selling?
They sold different pieces. They mainly did procurement, the logistics side. What was his name? Dawn something. Did anyone come through with that sort of name?
Dawn. Dawn is one of my girls, but I don't think she was selling anything.
Could I meet with Dawn?
Why, of course. Then she turns to one of the pregnant girls and says, "Can you fetch Dawn, please?" And the pregnant girl leaves. I'm surprised. Dawn's usually not one that bothers to talk to outsiders, but if she's branched out to you, then that's wonderful. I appreciate any time my girls wish to branch out and speak to anyone beyond our small walls.
And you said join your community, like there's some application process or paperwork we need to fill out, or...
Well, it's not so much that, I have to ask you first of all if you have an experience in a crafting role.
I can scribe.
Well, that might be potentially useful. I mean, at the moment, we only have one old dwarf, and, well, as much as he creates the finest jewelry you'll ever see, I mean, he is getting rather old, and, best to keep our options open in case he one day should be taken away from us.
Oh, and where might one find him?
Oh, he'll be down at his stall, down by the docks.
Okay. Thank you. I'm very sad to hear that you don't know anything of Melia.
As I said, I know all my girls, but I don't know any Melia. At this point, a very scrawny-looking girl who looks like just into her 20s appears, with like long, like red hair and barely any jewelry, and she's like, "Hello, matriarch, you called for me." "Yes, Dawn. This gentleman here says he knows you."
I nudge Wig.
He doesn't know her. He never said he did. He
Have
said
you
he was someone
requested to speak to
in it.
Dawn? This is Dawn.
Sorry, it's a different person to who I was thinking.
The girl seems to sort of look you up and down and go, "Oh, does he want to become a suitor?" She sort of clasps her hands together really sort of excitedly, as in showing significant interest.
I mean, I've never thought about becoming a suitor.
Well, I mean, Dawn is a very beautiful young girl, and she's very much in season if you're interested.
Season, is that what you call it here?
Well, she's a young girl, and her time of, shall we say, her time has joined the rest of us, I suppose, is the best way of putting it.
Yes, of course.
So what does it take to become a suitor?
Well, you just have to show an interest in one of my girls, and, treat her right, and present her with a ring for her finger. Then we will go through the process of wedlock, and then you may do as you wish.
If we like it, we should put a ring on it?
Of course. I mean, how else do you show that you truly love someone?
Interesting.
And where would one obtain a ring?
Oh, but if you need a ring, you surely should be able to have one yourself. But I suppose if you speak to Anders, maybe you might get one, but he doesn't seem to have any spares. I mean, maybe the girls might be able to supply you with one if you ask one, but I don't see them parting with any of their own jewelry.
Why not? It's just jewelry.
Oh, jewelry is very special to us here. It marks dedication. It marks service to she who waits beyond the waves.
And would this be your god?
Oh yes, we all worship she who waits beyond the waves here.
Very interesting.
And-
I'd love to know more.
She gestures to the mural binder. Well, it's very simple, really. If you're a good soul and you treat your fellow sisters with love, care, and affection, then when your time comes, you're taken beyond the sea, and you get to spend your eternity with her. However, if you're, let's call it, not nice person, and you treat your sisters with disdain or jealousy or any kind of maltreatment, then you are taken by the great cold one and dragged to the bottom of the sea, where you spend your eternity in the cold, cold dark, and you get far away from the sun or the smiles of any of your sisters. It's a
I noticed
wonderful
you're
system.
talking about ladies. What about the men?
She who waits beyond the waves is a mother, and men don't need a mother figure, they need a father.
Do you have a father figure for them?
No, that's not my jurisdiction, I'm afraid. I'm only here to promote the love of a mother for her daughters.
I see. And do you have many that do wrong?
Oh no, most of my girls from a young age learn that any kind of jealousy and guilt and all that anger that you get, and sometimes all it leads to is problems, and we teach them from a young age that the Great Cold One will come for them if they are needlessly malice.
But some malice is okay.
Well, I think everyone is due some malice sometimes, but we attempt to tell everyone that it's only when it's just, which is very rare, and they have to tell us and justify it to us why it is relevant, for we are but priestesses of this temple, and we can forgive such things. We don't go through life expecting perfection, but we go through life expecting that overall you are a good and just person.
Well, that's all anybody can ask, really. And the other men of the town, would there be any I could speak to about, I'm very interested in this place.
Well, a lot of the men we had, they have just left recently upon the ship they built. I mean, the client we had recently offered a lot of gold to any man who was willing to continue his, well, let's say journey upon the ships, and left with him. Very few were remaining, and those that were remaining left to return home.
I see. But what of their union here? Why would they return home?
The Union? I'm not sure I'm familiar with what you mean.
Well, you said to become part of the community, so the men who became part of the community left on the ships, and those who didn't went home?
Well, those who wished to stay with my girls were more than welcome, but very few did. It seemed that the lure of gold from overseas was far greater than the love my girls could provide.
It seems rather odd.
Maybe they just need more practice. I could show them a thing or two.
My dear sir, the things that a dwarven gentleman can get up to in his private time, I think my girls would blush at the mere thought.
Oh, honey. I'm no man.
She sort of tilts her head slightly and goes, "No? But you are
No,
bearded. Is this a ruse?"
A ruse?
Most dwarven women look like that.
I see. I've not had many of your kind here before. Well, obviously we have Anders, but he is not of that ilk, shall we say.
I see.
And does Anders have a wife?
Oh no. He's never shown interest in any of my girls. He's quite an old dwarf, you know. It'll be just wrong for any of my girls to settle for that. I mean, they could do far better.
Excuse me.
That's that. No, you said he's a fine craftsman.
Anders is a
He has
fine
something.
craftsman, but I don't want him distracted from his work. I mean, he's already got that bad leg. I'd hate to think what he could do if he was completely distracted all the time.
I see. This has
Interesting.
been a very enlightening conversation. Do you mind, as the matriarch, if we spend some time in your town?
Oh no, I'd happily have some more men around. I mean, the girls here will happily see to you have some lodgings for the evening. And she goes up, and a couple of the girls walk up, and they seem to take all of you arm in arm and sort of quietly take you all away. Apart from they just kind of ignore completely now.
What, just because I have girl bits? Sexist.
Yes.
So the three of you that are being escorted get escorted down and into the Braggart Rest Tavern, and immediately you're sat down and brought as much food as you want, and ale and anything you request is brought to you. Yule is just sort of left at the other side of the table with no food or anything, just scowling at the rest of you as these girls are massaging your shoulders and telling you how wonderful you are and offering you food, drink, anything you want.
I appreciate all the care, but it's not strictly necessary.
I come over and I scoot right up to Ogden and put my arm around him and I'm like, girls, he's mine.
You hear a couple of them lean down and whisper something to Ogden, and he would go red if he could.
Is this strictly necessary?
I'm trying to protect you.
From these ladies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wig's
I thought maybe they'd stop, making you uncomfortable.
Well, you having your arm around me, right, making me uncomfortable.
Fair enough. Take my arm off. I'm sorry, I will ask next time.
Thank you.
Wig's going to turn to the ladies and ask if we can have a minute alone.
Oh, but sure,
Just
we
up
will be
past.
waiting right over at the bar. And they just move about maybe 3 meters away, and all seem to be standing at the bar.
This is weird.
Yeah, this is very dreamlike. How can they just pander over people that just came into the town? That's not right.
Anything that's too good is always
Speak for
bad.
yourself.
Like you said, you had lady bits. They seem to be interested in the male bits.
I think the procreation is what they care about.
Yeah, they're interested in the outer, not the inner.
Fair, I guess. I could
Okay.
show him a good time too.
I was worried it was just me who was uncomfortable here.
Nope, this is not right.
Okay. I can see why Dorian might want to stay, though.
So we've not seen anyone called Dorian. And the mention of Dawn just brought out a woman called Dawn. I was hoping that'd trigger some Dawn whispers.
Well,
Seems
sometimes
overly eager for a man who just turned up, who didn't know her.
Yes, that is odd. Should we check with this Anders? He seems like the standout here.
Yeah, he hasn't
No.
been taken away by a woman or gone off on the ship.
Yes, and
They seem
and
to
the
need
They seem to
Jewelry.
talk about him more like a possession than a person. Safe
Well,
outside
yes.
work. Women aren't allowed to go near him. Sounds more like a prisoner.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, he seems like he's almost treasured in a way, but not for the same reasons everybody else is.
And where does all the gold come from?
That's the question. And did you notice the young girl who she said isn't very experienced, doesn't reach out to many men? She didn't have as much jewelry as to expect. And the matriarch, she was practically covered in the stuff.
Indeed.
Maybe it's social
Does that mean
status.
something?
I don't know, but it's got to mean something. Maybe to do with their social standing. Might be a good indicator of who's in the know and who's not.
True. Or if they don't have as much, perhaps they'd be more willing to talk.
That's interesting. I didn't think of that.
Or less willing because they're trying to get more?
Perhaps an older lady with less.
Ah.
Maybe she's angered someone.
Well, I guess there's nothing but to see the town, yes?
Yeah, maybe stop off at Anders first.
As you finish your conversation and begin to stand up, the girls come back and swamp you again and be like, "Come, your rooms are ready, your rooms are prepared." And again,
Are you joining me, ladies?
the three men are sort of whisked upstairs to these like very deluxe, very large double bed rooms where it's like everything seems incredibly comfortable and relaxed. And Yo at the bottom is just like standing around going, "So where's my room?" And they push this door next to like the back of it, and it reveals this like very dank looking cellar with a moth-eaten bed, and they go, "You're in there."
Fuck no, I'm not. And I go up into, I don't know, Wig's room, I guess. He's a dwarf. Mind if I bed with you? They're trying to give me this crap little room downstairs.
Sure.
You hear them go, but you can't bed together. I mean, no woman can be bed with a man unless she's got a ring on her finger.
Shoo. I force her out the door, and then as I close the door, use my axe to wedge the door closed. Those people creep me the fuck out.
Amen, brother.
Okay, so you've now got your rooms, and the only thing you notice is at the corner of each room there seems to be a couple of crates, and as you open these crates they seem to be full of this strange like green coloured alcohol, and as you like bring it to your mouth and sniff it, it seems to smell very strongly of pine. Like as soon as you open the bottle it stinks of pine.
Who the fuck drinks Pine Sol? Ugh.
So yeah, this is very highly alcoholic, highly stinking of pine alcohol.
And there's just kind of crates full of the stuff.
There's like crates in every single room. There seems to be at least about 20 bottles in each room.
Sounds like they wanted to get us plastered.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I'm gonna take a bottle and just kind of keep it in my pack, but I'm not gonna drink any. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
the same.
that sounds good.
I'm now beginning to think I should never drink or eat anywhere I go.
So I'll leave the room, and are there the girls out there, or are they just gone?
They are. A couple of them still are standing outside of Wig's room just for like to try and remind him that, but women aren't allowed to share rooms with men unless they've got a ring on their finger. Whereas every other room is just left alone.
Okay, I'll go to Ogken's room then. We need to get out of here.
Well, the job, we need to return with him, yes?
I mean, out of this inn and away from these ladies.
Oh.
There are some small windows at the back of each room. You could probably squeeze through them and climb down if you wanted.
Leave without the others, you're saying?
No. But they're kind of surrounded.
Okay. So what do you suggest? I'm not rather good at this kind of thing.
I think we can just sneak out, let them think we're here, and then we have free reign.
Okay, well then, the window, possibly?
Sure. This is like second story, right?
It's like first floor up. It's if you had a bit of rope with you, you could probably easily get down, like tie it to something and then climb down. Or very worst, you could always use like a bed sheet or something.
That's exactly what I was gonna go for. Yeah.
Well, Gaffy will go over to the window and look out, and then kind of tense up a bit, and then go back to the door. And I'm just gonna walk out. I don't think I can get down there.
Oh.
Yep. That's fine. You can just walk out the front door if you want the girls or not. They're kind of like giving you the eye every way when you walk past. They'll be like, well, I hope you'll come back later. I mean, you're tired. You should have an early night's sleep.
Oh, I'll definitely be back.
And if he's walking out the front, I'll walk after him. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that would be harder.
Well, I'm rather big. I don't fancy squeezing myself through a window.
So in the remaining dwarf room, what happens?
Well, Wig, I'm not really tired yet.
Neither am I really. It's still fairly early. Just hoping those women would have left me alone when I came upstairs.
Yeah. Do we still hear them outside the door?
You sort of glance out the sort of like keyhole in the door and you see one of them still standing outside, sort of like patiently waiting.
Huh. Looks like we're being guarded.
Oh, we can push our way past, or tempt the booze, and just get blasted.
I don't think I want to drink that. They may have laced it with something.
True. Do you want to go see the others?
Yeah, let's go.
Pry my axe back out the door.
So you open the door and you again just have, there's only two of them standing there and they go, oh, I see, I'm glad you've taken our advice and you've convinced her that she should stay back downstairs.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go fuck in the alley. Come on, let's go.
The two women just blush immediately and one of them puts her hand to her mouth just like,
Very shocked look on Wig's face as he's pulled away.
I take Wig by the hand and lead him down the stairs.
okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So we meet up outside, I'm guessing?
Yep, so you're all outside now? What do you want to do?
Well, I was thinking of speaking to Anders. He for sure knows who we're looking for. By name in the letters, so...
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably best to keep the girls away from us when we talk to him, in case he gets intimidated by them at all. Because it just seems off in this place.
How does one keep women away from them?
We send our friend Yolo at them.
I can help.
She has a way with them at the minute.
Oh.
Okay, so are you walking down to Anders' stall?
That sounds good
Yes.
to me.
Okay. As you get close, you hear him going, no like that, no like that, no like that. How many times have I tell you? No like that. What you doing? You're wasting good gold. And the two girls he's talking to just seem to be like trying to do like fine artwork on the gold. And he's like, you can't deal with that. You just break the jewellery. You can't deal with that. Don't do that. Whatever you're doing, don't do that. Then he hobbles over to the other group and be like, you as well. What if I tell you? Don't do that. You're just wasting my gold. And they have a sort of small discussion, and then he sort of looks up, notices you, and sort of hobbles a bit towards the front. And he sort of looks at you, and he sort of just tilts his head and goes, oh, aye, where are you from?
Here and there.
Aye, right. You new in town?
We arrived
Yes.
today.
Oh, aye.
Have you been here long?
Oh, a few years.
And you're a goldsmith?
I'm that.
So you would be the one to ask about maybe buying a ring?
Not unless you got the gold to give me to make a ring from.
I see. And
Who would you want to give a ring to?
well, I was told that if you know, I thought it would be better to have one first than not.
Oh, aye.
This man's the suitor to many women.
He sort of looks you up and down and goes, oh, aye.
Well, and anyway, so tell me, do you do much trade in town?
No so much trade. The girls bring me the gold and then I graft it for them.
Ah, I see. And have you done any work for anybody outside of town? Does your work get displayed often other places? Or?
All my work is just for personal use. It doesn't go much further than that.
Ah,
I mean, is all the gold jewellery in the town your handiwork?
Oh, I everything you see here is from me. And at this point you notice he's leaning on a crutch, and as you look down to his left leg, it seems completely like broken and withered.
It's odd to see such a fine craftsman in a small town just working for personal work. I mean, the city to the south, surely you'd earn heaps more.
Oh, God. I can't really travel, you know. Taps the leg and he goes, you know, I don't really get very far, and, you know, I tried getting the cart before, but got told by the matriarch I wasn't allowed to leave, so, you know, oh, I love it. And then you hear him saying Dwarvish, some kind of cursing.
oh,
It's sort of like, it sounded like coughing, but it's just cursing in Dwarvish.
it's interesting. What happened to your leg? It's
Oh, that, I was mauled by a sea leviathan.
wow.
Sea Leviathan.
I leapt out the boat, rammed my axe deep into its head, and it bit down on my leg, ripping most of my leg out.
I don't remember what happened. I blacked out. I remember being pulled under the waves. Then I woke up here. They nursed me back to health and, found out I was a goldsmith, so they just kept me going, and I've been having a wee shop since then.
So where did you come from?
Oh, I came from a small wee clan under the mountain. I don't even know where this is, if I'm honest. All I know is that this is a coastal town called Eisenport, and there's a couple of small towns to the south, but beyond that, I don't know where I am. Every time I put feelers out, then I go anywhere.
And at this point, you hear a woman in the background going, Anders, please don't talk about non-work things with the people. And you just see him give you a look of, I'm really sick of that fucking woman. And he goes, oh, I forgot that. Sorry.
I go over to the ladies. Are they close together?
There's like 2 groups of 4, and it's one of the ones at the end of group of 4 that seems to be constantly listening to your conversation.
I go over and sit on her lap. Hi, honey. How are you?
What are you doing? Why are you sitting on me?
Oh, are you not familiar with more of the, shall we say, closet arts?
She goes bright red and sort of fumbles with what she's doing.
While that's happening, I'll ask Anders. Anders, I've received a letter, and there's a thing about a girl named Melia. Would you happen to know her?
He glances over at the sort of other dwarf and the girl, and then glances back and he goes, no, never heard of Amelia.
Wick's gonna pipe up and say in Dwarvish, what about Dorian?
Anders looks at you, and looks back at the woman, and looks back again and says, I have no idea who that is, but I can't talk to you in normal. They follow my conversation. They are listening.
I'm now caressing both the lady I'm sitting on and the one next to me.
The ones that you're caressing seem to sort of slowly be backing away and not really sure what to do about you.
I could show you how to make men go crazy.
Again, if she could go even redder, she would.
Wait, what are you and Anders talking about? Not a language in my repertoire.
It's fine, Organ. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Can you take him away from the stall? Walk down the street?
Assuming you're saying that in Dwarvish.
Yes.
Anders hears this and he just looks at Wig and goes, I can't leave.
Why
As soon
not?
as I walk away, they'll follow me.
I can
They're
try
very
to keep
protective. They don't want me to go. I'm too valuable to them.
Do you want to leave? I'll say that in Dwarvish.
he sort of laughs and says,
That's a good one. Of course I remember the dwarves, yes.
but he says it in common, so they sort of begin to start looking and then looking away again.
And did you learn your fine craft with the dwarves?
Oh yeah, I've had many years of being a dwarven smith, used to make rune weapons and all that, but those times are long past. Don't miss it at all.
And he gives you a look at, like, rolling his eyes.
And did you have many apprentices or anything when you were back at home?
Well, there used to be a young lad called Gunderson, but don't know what happened to him. He was on the boat with me, and I don't know. All I remember is being dragged under the sea.
While you guys are talking, I'm going to start loudly talking about the best way to give a blowjob to these ladies. As loud as I can.
Okay.
Okay.
A couple of them have gone scarred. One of them runs away with her fingers in her ears. One of them also goes, I'm going to fetch a guard. This is filth.
We'll see what we can do for you, Anders.
He just nods and then he just leans in and goes,
Don't end up marrying them. You'll end up in the temple.
and he sort of leans back and then starts laughing again as if you've told a joke. And then
I'll laugh along.
That's a good one.
So he goes, I'm afraid, dear friends, I have work to do, but, don't be strangers. Be happy to come back anytime. Anytime.
And he seems to sort of give you a look of, get me the fuck out of here.
Perhaps we can have a drink later at the Braggart's Inn.
And at this point, the woman that Yolo is discussing over stands up and says,
Anders, you can't go for a drink with any of them. They're filthy men. I mean, look at this one. It's trying to tell me how to do things. I don't want to drink about that.
But that's not a man.
She goes...
Dwarven lady.
She's like, her whole body is practically like blushing now. And she's just like,
That makes it worse.
and just starts like walking towards Anders, and then she starts like trying to maneuver him back towards the counter. And Anders is like, "Oh, I will. I'll speak to you later."
Yes, that would be.
All
that would be
right.
Got back soon.
And I will just, I guess, get up and be like, well, I guess you can't handle learning more about how to please your men, so I'll talk to you later.
One of them just looks quite disgusted at what you've said. The other two have ran off. So yeah. And as you just begin to walk away, you hear the one that was disgusted just going, "I put it in my mouth?" So what are you doing now?
Let's get away from anyone that's around.
Yeah, is there somewhere we can try and find maybe to be alone that we don't at least know that we're being observed?
You did seem to be left alone when you were in the room at the inn, but that was only when you didn't have Yola with you.
I see.
Well,
There's too many ears about.
we could go down to the docks. Maybe there's less people down there.
We can see the docks, yes. I'd like to see these ships they're saying they're building.
Okay. So you walk down to the docks. It's getting into like midnight at the moment, and you see there's a lot of women, like older looking women, who seem to be packing like a 4-person rowboat, seem to be packing it with like fishing equipment, and seem to be preparing to leave to go out fishing.
There are no large ships.
There's one large ship on the far dock, as in like the furthest point back of the docks. It's like a sort of skeleton of a ship, like on upside down. It looks like it's like either just been made or like been made a long time ago. You can't tell from this distance.
Okay. Well, it looks like there's tussle and bustle about down here. And that looks like the frame of a ship. Did we check that out?
Yeah, we don't see anybody working on it, or is it too far away?
You don't see anyone working on it. But as I said, there's a couple of women walking around doing the sort of loading the sort of smaller ships, but nothing else.
And what are they loading it?
You do see like
Loading.
a lot of like tables that have been cleaned down, and the smell of pine is quite strong from these tables, and they look like they're the ones that basically fish get like, you know, deheaded and gutted. Everything that you would think would smell of like rotting fish or anything just smells of either very fresh fish or pine or the sea.
Well, it's a lot better than the last town.
Yes, considerably.
Let's go check out that ship.
Okay.
The big one.
Yep. Okay.
Sounds good.
So you go and look at this ship. Can everyone roll me probably would be lore, I would say. A lore check.
Oh,
9.
nothing.
Nope.
13.
Yolo notices that the ship, despite the fact it seems to be this like framework of this big, massive like galleon, the wood's completely untreated, and it's not the kind of wood that you'd put on a ship. It looks very much like it's a prop rather than anything that could even hold water. It looked like it would warp and sink within weeks.
These people don't know how to build a ship at all. This is the wrong kind of wood. They don't have any tar or pitch or anything.
Where did you learn this? Would you happen to have a book about shipbuilding? Or?
I've just been with a lot of men, honey. You learn things.
Well, I learned things, but okay.
Is there anyone around us?
You seem to be mostly on your own at the moment. There's maybe
Okay.
1 or 2 women on the docks, but they're probably out of earshot.
Okay. Anders did say that the men who get married go to the temple,
Yes.
meaning that no one probably sailed on a ship out like that other person said, the matriarch.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now that we know they can't build ships, then yeah.
That would make sense. He also seemed rather eager to get out of here. Anybody have any suggestion how we would do that?
Tap
We
my
could-
axe.
Well, we could just grab him and run, get Julian to go with us. But what about anyone else who comes here?
Yes. Well, my concern would be is if we grab him and run, and we find out exactly where Dorian is from him, then it would be harder to come back here to retrieve him.
That's true.
You know, we need to get him alone. He has to sleep sometime. That seems the best place. If you notice, none of them followed us into our room.
Well, they don't like it if Yolo goes in your room.
So we
I
send Yolo
wonder-
in there with him.
I mean, did your rooms have that green alcohol, the smell of pine?
Oh,
Yes,
great.
tons of it.
I mean,
Yeah.
if that stuff, if it's volatile enough, we could make a few distractions.
That's an idea.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Yes.
We could make distractions, but wouldn't it be obvious?
My thing is, I'm not rather good at it. My suggestion would be, if somebody could sneak into his room tonight, you can guarantee that there will be none of the women there.
Well, that's true. They don't have women in with men ever.
Yeah, the only problem is look at the size of me. I don't sneak well.
Oh, I've snuck in and out of many bedrooms in my time. I can probably manage.
I'll have to take your word for it.
But we do need to know where he sleeps.
Yes,
That would be helpful.
That would be.
So perhaps we just keep a watch on him until
Tail him.
his shift is done.
They said he's not allowed to go to the bar to drink, but what if we bring the bar to him?
Ah.
Take some of that alcohol with us as a distraction if need be.
Well, I think that was more because of who we are and a certain dwarven woman's actions.
Well, actually, if you're good at sneaking, maybe we can be the distraction.
Ah.
They seem to not pay much attention to you anyway. So, unless you're being overt and talking about things.
I'm surprised you haven't read a book on that yet.
Talking and reading are two very different things, and you tend to be a bit more graphic than the books. I read a really nice anatomy book at one time, and it explained the whole process. It was rather enlightening, but it was nothing like the things you were saying to those girls.
Well, I could show you later if you'd really like.
If it's possible for a Goliath to be beat red, he probably is.
I'm just kidding. I know it makes you uncomfortable.
Thank you. Back to plans.
I don't want to get accidentally married.
Well, you don't have a ring, right?
That's true.
I don't have a ring. It's impossible for me to give one to somebody, right?
All right,
I think you'll be okay. Okay, so we're gonna go camp out and see when he goes to bed, or what are we doing?
I guess so.
I think that's the best.
Yeah.
I don't know how we can do that sneakily.
Us as a group are probably going to be followed almost constantly. It may be better if the guys go back to the tavern.
Well, I like your idea, Wig, of bringing the bar to him. That might work well,
Dwarfs like to drink, so it makes sense.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to the bar, gather some supplies, and then go back to Anders' shop.
Yeah.
Okay, so you head back, and as you begin to walk past Anders' shop, you notice it's beginning to pack up for the evening, and it just seems to be Anders and that one woman who was very vocal before.
Okay.
And as they see you go past, the woman points to you and says, "That's her. Whenever we next see you a guard, Anders, you have to point her out to the guards. She's the one. Filthy mouth, filthy mouth." And Anders is just chuckling to himself as he's packing things away.
Anders, hello. We thought you might want a nice drink after your long day of crafting.
"Oh, a drink. And as he begins saying anything, the woman just goes, "Anders, you don't drink anymore, remember?" "Oh, how could I forget? I don't
I go up
drink
to the
anymore."
gal. What? Why can't
Whereas
you
if
drink
you
anymore?
wanted to talk, I could just, "Anders, you don't talk to them." "Oh, I forgot. I don't talk to you. Sorry."
Why doesn't he talk to me, ma'am?
And the woman just goes, "He has better things to do than talk to rabble like you, especially with such filthy mouths."
I beg to differ that I'm rabble. I've done nothing to you.
"You hang around with that harlot.
I've only known her but a few days. I
Yeah,
find
and you
it
probably
rather
got some
insulting
infection from her as well. Not
Oh,
voice
honey,
alone.
he ain't letting me anywhere near his man bits. And I am perfectly clean. Thank you very much.
And Anders sort of gives you a
I could show you. And I
I have heard enough from your mouth today.
I
be
run
on
my
your way.
hand alongside her face. Oh, but honey, I could show you so many things.
Be on your way, or I'll call the guards.
Oh, you want the guards involved too? That'll be fun.
He gets incredibly flustered, and Anders is just like really like giggling to himself, and he's just like,
No, let's just resolve this quietly. I'm sure Esmeralda there wasn't trying to be upsetting, but you know it's the time we need to close the shop.
and Esmeralda's like, yes, Anders, you need to be back in your room.
Yeah, I need to be back in my room.
Do you go with him?
Oh, she tucks me in at night, don't you, Esmeralda? And
The woman's just like,
how dare you? I wouldn't spend a night with you. Well, you know, she needs to make sure I'm putting my wee Betty Buys on my own, and then I get up fine in the morning.
and she just gives him a look of just don't fuck with me.
And I don't think you're helping this situation. I'd like to talk to Anders, and you're making quite a stink in front of our hosts.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Maybe you should just be back off to the inn. And
Okay.
you can talk to us friends later.
At this point, the woman goes, if you want to speak to Anders, you can speak to him tomorrow. Come along, Anders, you're back to your room. And he's like,
I leave.
Aye, back to my room. You know, the Stork's a wonderful bar. I wonder where I sleep.
and he walks off as this woman goes,
Anders, stop talking to them.
We'll see you in the morning, Anders.
so they head off, and you do notice them walking into the Stork at the end.
Well,
We know where he sleeps.
we do indeed. But how do we get to him?
Dog?
I mean, there's
don't
nothing
know.
stopping us going to a different bar, is there? There's
True.
a tavern, they surely serve drink as well. At least gets us
True.
through the front door.
Should we give it a minute?
Maybe.
Make sure that Esmeralda leaves,
If she leaves.
if she leaves.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll get him.
So you wait about 10 minutes. Esmeralda still hasn't seemed to have left, and you walk up towards the Stork, and as you walk inside, again, you seem to be set upon by several women going, oh, new men in town, have you just arrived, and like bustling you to chairs and looking after you and everything.
Yes. We just arrived in earlier today. Tell me, I was told I could find Esmeralda around here.
They look quite lovely. Oh, okay, yes, she's a beautiful older lady. And they sort of gesture and they point up the stairs, and you see her sort of standing with her arms crossed outside a room.
Thank you. Do you mind if I go speak with her?
You can go speak to her if you want. As you walk towards, she just looks at you and says, what do you want?
Can I tell from where she's standing where the window to that room would be on the outside?
You've got a rough idea, yeah.
I would like to apologize for my traveling companion.
How can you travel with that? It's filthy.
Well, we
I
happen
need to bathe daily just to get that filth off me.
I understand. I'm just as uncomfortable with the whole conversation as you are. As you could see, I'm rather flustered, and I just like to apologize for. I would hate for it to color your opinion of me and the rest of my companions.
Well, I suppose we can't vet all the work, but that dwarf just... Ugh.
Yeah.
And she puts it in her mouth.
If you
No
don't
wonder
mind,
it's so filthy when she speaks.
Of course, but would you, if you don't mind, I would rather we not talk about putting things in mouths. I would rather. That's not my
She sort of gives you a
anyway.
weird look and she says, well, if you are into that, well, I am single, and she sort of waves her wedding hand with no ring on the finger.
Okay. And like, how much jewelry is she wearing? Like, quite a bit.
Reasonable amount, not too much. She looks like she's on the older scale of the girls you see. I mean, most of the girls you see, they seem to stop like mid-30s, and you don't see any other ones, but you did notice that the fisherwomen seem to be significantly older. So it seems like a sort of rite of passage that when they reach a certain age, they become fisherwomen. And
Okay.
she does look like she's closer to the end of the younger scale.
Okay.
And she doesn't seem to have that much jewelry compared to other people.
Okay.
While they're talking, can I go outside and see if I can figure out which window I could try to sneak into?
Yep. They are paying no attention to you at all, so yes, you're free to do that.
Excellent. So what's it going to take to sneak up there? Climb up there, whatever.
Do you have climbing tools? No, you don't.
I have rope.
You do have rope. Yeah, you can try and get up somehow with rope.
I have rope and caltrops. I could tie those together, right?
Either that or you
Or-
can borrow Gaffy's climbing kit.
Oh, I do have a climbing kit.
Hey, Gaffy. I
Yes.
need to get up to that window. You got anything?
Sure. And I'll just kind of like nudge my kit over, I guess.
Okay.
Under the table.
Okay, so you now have a climbing
reached
kit. So
down.
yeah, you can just roll to climb inside and look into the window.
Okay.
So Esmeralda, I see you have a lot of marvelous jewelry.
He's not
I
in the
rolled
first
it.
window. She goes, yes, I might not have as many as some, but the pieces I have are very beautiful.
They are indeed. They're fine craftsmanship. Have they been made by our dwarven friend?
Yes, they were made by the sulky dwarf, yes.
Yeah, he seemed like a charming fellow, and
He's a moody old soul.
oh well, he seemed pleasant enough. I try not to form opinions on just like a first conversation.
At this point, Yomorana finds the room. Anders is sort of lying on his bed laughing and listening to the conversation outside.
So tell me, like say somebody was to get a jewelry for you. Of what sort of style do you like? I can see that's rather intricately carved, but
Well, anything Anders made is always intricately carved with the right wave, the sort of wave style. But if you were to give me anything, a ring on my finger would be very nice. And she sort of bats her eyelids at you.
Now, and with rings, are stones customary or?
Oh, no, just a simple gold ring will do fine.
I see. And one would have to supply their own gold for that, right? To
Well, they'll
Mr.
supply their own gold or supply their own ring. If you
Okay.
brought me a ring, I'd be very happy. And she sort of gives you a weird smile. It looks like she's not used to smiling anymore, but trying anyway.
I see. And well, as you can see, I'm rather nervous talking about this. I'm sure you have many people wanting rings to give you.
You're adorable. Okay.
So
Can I get
as you
in
sort of
his
climb up
room?
to the window, Anders opens the window and you sort of carefully climb inside. As you can hear this conversation, you can hear it almost right outside the door. It's not that hushed compared to inside, so there's not as much privacy with her standing outside as you'd want.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and keep her busy, talking as much as possible.
Okay.
Stuttering through the whole thing.
Anders, can she hear us if we're whispering?
She won't be listening. She's too busy being chatted up by your friend.
Okay, good. So what in the world is going on in this town?
Don't ask me. All I know is that I woke up here and every time I try and leave, they catch me again and bring me back. Every time I put feelers out where I am, no one answers. Every time someone comes in, they just disappear.
When you say they go to the temple, do they just not come back out?
I don't know what goes on in there. All I know is that about every 6 months, there's a door next to my shop. And about every 6 months, several crates of armour and weapons and stuff get magically taken out of there and put in the cart. I get the feeling that whatever goes in there doesn't come out.
When you say armor and weapons, like they're making some? Or it's from the men?
The women here couldn't craft a paper dart. Like, literally, they couldn't even make a paper ball. They'll just, no.
They can't do anything.
They have no craft skills whatsoever.
So that's why they need you.
They need me because I make the gold. Well,
Where does the
craft
gold come from?
I don't know. Somewhere out in the sea. They bring it back in when they bring the fish in the night.
So down at the docks, they have this boat skeleton. It's not seaworthy at all.
God, no, it's not. No, as I said, they can't build anything.
So where did they get these fishing boats even?
Oh, they get the men to make them when they come up.
So those are the boats the men build.
Not really. They sort of sign the men on with these crap ships they make, but usually they sort of see if they can work their wiles on the men while they are building these things, and they rip the boards back off. You ever noticed it's the same boards they put on every time?
Wow.
Aye.
So,
They're just out for the men. They don't care about anything else.
and the men just disappear.
Oh no, the men first of all get obsessed with the women, and then they just... Well, the last one I was aware of was this elf called, like it was Jacob or something like that. And he was a nice enough guy, he came in, chatted away, but he decided he was going to marry one of them because he'd been working for about 3-4 weeks, and she was like, literally, this one was like, I've heard about your technique, basically. She was basically like that with clothes on. But anytime he'd get close, she'd put her hand up and go, no, ring. And he'd be like, alright, okay. Eventually, he turned up one day and gave her this ring. They took him off to the temple to get him prepared for the wedding. Never saw him again.
And does that happen to most of the guys? They go get prepared and...
They don't get prepared. I mean, some of them just disappear overnight. I mean, there was this really scrawny elf that used to come to me and complain that his papa would love it if I sold him, like, how to make gold. And I'm like, your papa can fuck off. But he's like, every day for like a month on end, this elf would come to me and be like, oh, I'm a great salesman, but my papa would love it if you sold me all this. Or my papa would love me if you gave me a bit of gold. I'm like, your pappy can suck my fucking bobby, son. I'm not gonna sell you a damn thing.
I mean, I could do that if you'd like, but...
He sort of gives you sort of like, huh?
And then he goes, aye, but the thing is that one day after about a month and a half of this, well, elf coming to me and saying, you know, please sell me, he stopped. And it wasn't even as if, you know, I didn't see him around anymore. He just disappeared overnight. Thought maybe I got a caravan back, but the caravan wasn't there at the time. So I don't know where he went. He just disappeared overnight.
That sounds disturbing. Okay.
Basically, they find a way to get you, and once they get you, you're gone.
And the other ones that just leave town because they can't stand it, you don't hear from them ever again either.
The ones that leave, again, it's very difficult to leave. You need to have a few if you want to leave. One on his own, no, they just swamp you and they don't take no for an answer. They just kind of convince you that you should stay, and then you see them. Countless of the men they had before, they were like, oh, I want to go home, but the women were like, no, you don't want, you want to start your new life here. Like, oh, I've got a wife, no, you know, that bent over there will suck you just as well as your wife ever would. And they're like, and she's got a lot of money, you know, money. And if you're married to one of them, maybe you'll get more money. And sadly, everyone's got a price.
It's true. Everyone does have a price. Okay. Well, I think if I'm discovered in your room, there will be hell to pay. So, as much as I would like to entertain you for the evening, I should be going.
Oh well, I remember that later, lass.
Absolutely.
He sort of helps you up to the door frame as you hear a voice from the other side go, well, you know, any ring will do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to do what that filthy dwarf does once we're married, but
Of course, as I said, pure filth.
and you just hear her sort of like, she just sort of, you notice her ears prick up, and she goes, "What's that giggling?" She turns around and you hear her frantically trying to like pull the key to Anders' room out of her pocket.
What do I need to roll to dive out the window?
I'm assuming you've just climbed out the window at this point.
Yes.
And Anders is just sort of, as she breaks into the room, Anders is just lying on his bed, just like, "Oh, you come back, doll." And Esmeralda's like, "Have you been having company? It smells like filth in here."
Esmeralda, isn't it unbecoming of you to be in a man's room?
She just sort of looks immediately. Anders, don't do anything wrong, Anders. I'm watching you. I'm careful. I'm going to be here all night. And slams the door and locks it again.
I think I need to think about this. You've shown me something I wasn't expecting. And he's gonna go down the stairs.
Okay. As you leave, she goes, "Oh, remember where I am, darling. You know, just a ring's all it needs. Can do that thing where I read the poems to you. You know, the dirty poems that the dwarf writes."
With the others.
Okay, so I've come back in by now.
So the rest of them are all just sitting downstairs, just getting like massaged and fed and stuff like that as much as they want.
So, hey, guys, we should probably get back to our rooms at the other place. Nudge, nudge.
I am rather tired, and I have some things to think about.
You have a whole life to plan.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think I'm full here. Thank you, ladies.
They sort of all kind of give you, but where are you going? Where are you going?
Well, I
we
need to
have
think
fruit.
about who is the best match for me, I think.
They all kind of blush at this point, and they all sort of give very sort of lingering glances.
And I'll head out.
Okay, so you return to the inn, and through wizardry of like hiding or going up the stairs, you manage to all get into one room together so you can discuss things.
Okay, so I was able to talk to Anders. Anders is very much stuck here. He cannot ever get away, which I think we already knew. But the boats that these men are building, they just put boards on and take them back off and put boards on and take them back off. And the men, eventually, if they stay here long enough, either they disappear to the temple to get ready for a wedding, or they just disappear. And it sounds like our elf friend, even though he didn't remember the name, was one of those who just disappeared one night and didn't come back.
I see.
And the door next to his shop often has armor and weapons that come out of it and get put on a cart and taken away, but he doesn't know where they come from. And these ladies, they can't do beans for themselves, other than apparently try to woo anybody who comes to town.
I see. That door sounds rather interesting.
I agree.
Do you think maybe they're keeping the men down there? Having them build stuff, or?
I get the impression the men never come back. Ergo, I think they're all being killed.
Well, that's something to consider.
Or we
Possibly in sacrifice to this goddess.
So why do all the ladies want a husband then?
Or maybe that's how they get their gold.
Maybe.
Sacrificing men, goddess gives them gold or something. Or they're doing something worse to the men that we can't think of.
I think there might be answers in that door.
I mean, we could also try going into the temple.
True.
I mean,
True.
you were quite betaken with that lady in the tavern. Lend you a couple of gold, get you a ring.
Yeah, that's rather new for me. I read this one book, and it was about this like man, and he investigates things, and I was being what they call in a distraction. You talk to somebody.
You did a good job. Thank you.
Thanks. She really wanted to talk about what you had said, and I didn't want to hear any of that.
I think maybe she wants to try it on you.
So somebody needs to get married. Is that what you were saying? It would get us in the temple.
Pretty much, but
The sacrifice.
I'm not looking
if
to be
one of
sacrificed.
us was to go, and then two best men went with them, and a bridesmaid, or
So which one of you is getting married?
I think it'd be you and
that'd be you, my friend.
your lady friend.
Oh.
Or we could go check out that door first.
Could we? I think that might be preferable to us being sacrificed and marriage.
Well, some would say. Anyway, yes, so let's go back out and go to that door beside his thing while it's still nighttime.
Are you going out the front door, or are you going out the window?
The window, I
House.
imagine, otherwise we're gonna have a crowd.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine as well.
Window?
I think somebody will notice us if we go out the front door.
Okay. What do we need to roll to get out the window?
As long as one of you's got a rope, then you should be fine. Just climb down the window.
I have rope.
So you attach the rope to the bottom of the bed, and you all climb down the rope to the street outside.
Gaffy, are you coming with us?
I don't think I can go out the window.
Why not?
Why not?
And that's a very long way down.
It's not that far.
It kind of looks out the window again and gets a little woozy.
Oh.
I'll just go out.
I could try to distract you, but I don't think that would help your dexterity.
Let me see.
Has anyone already gone down out the window?
I think some of you may have already gone out the window.
'Cause I haven't gone out yet. Is it Sam? Did you go down?
Yeah, I'm going out the window.
I was about to when Gaffy started talking, I think. We'll say that.
Wig will just put his head out the window and ask Organ, "Are you good at catching?"
Catching what?
Maybe the two of us could.
Sounds good, and I'll
I climb down.
wrestle Gaffy out the window.
Roll to throw him out the window.
Defenestration! Yes!
Natural 20, yes. You throw him out the window, he's too shocked at you suddenly just grabbing him and hurling him out to even scream, and he gets caught by Ogren.
Oh my gosh.
It's great.
I wasn't.
Hi, can you set me down, please?
Yes, I'll put you down.
Oh, that was the worst thing. Oh, don't do that again, please.
I didn't.
No, not you.
I'll climb down the rope now.
I give Wig a thumbs up. I guess I'm down on the ground now.
Yep, you've all kind of climbed down the side. So, what do you want to do?
Let's go look at that door.
Okay.
Sounds like the best plan we got at the minute.
Okay, so you walk to the door. There seems to be a door at the side of Andrew's shop next to the stables.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no obvious way of opening it from this side. But it does seem to be a door.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, break it down, but that might make noise.
There's no keyhole.
Can I take a crowbar to it?
You can try, yes.
How about we just knock?
You
Yeah,
put
that's
the
a
crowbar
5.
to it. It doesn't seem to move. It feels like it might be something on the other side stopping it opening.
I don't know that we can open it from
It
this
does
direction.
seem like a wooden door, though.
It's wooden. So, what do we have that can deal with wood? I've got flint and tinder. I think that would be rather late.
I mean, to draw my axe. Axes work with wood normally.
That's gonna draw some attention too. Do we care? I'm down for a fight if you are.
If it's needed, yes.
I knock on the door.
Nothing happens.
Okay, that was kind of loud. Can we, I don't know, axe it?
You can axe it if you want.
I have an axe
Roll
too.
to try and axe the door.
Yeah. I'd like to think.
Natural 20. You split the door in two with an easy swing of your axe, and the door just crumples.
What kind of dwarf are you? Come on.
I softened it up for you.
So immediately there's a strange scent coming from this new sort of room. This sort of short corridor, maybe about 3-4 meters, and then it just opens up into this large room, which seems to immediately have a smell of like sewage and sea and pine.
That pine smell again. Ugh.
Right,
They seem
who's going
very
first?
much like it.
Into the breach?
Yeah,
Sure.
I'll draw my shield and head in.
Yeah, I'll draw my shield and spear.
As you walk into the room, you see the room seems to be relatively deserted, and as you walk into the main room itself, to the right of you, there seems to be like 4, like it looks like a pirate wheel on its side, like with the spokes, but between each of the spokes there seems to be a man tied completely naked to the wheel. So there's like maybe about 10 men tied to one wheel, 8 to the other, 12 to the other, and a couple to the one after it.
Are they alive?
They're alive. They stink of pine, and they all look like in various degrees of like. Some of them have grown really long beards. Some of them look really unkempt. It's like they've been kept captive for a long time.
Oh, I was expecting.
Why?
That's not good.
And as you walk up towards it, you look to your left, and you see that there's like an aqueduct in the middle of the room, and to the other side of the room there's like another long gap, and then there's another bunch of wheels on the other side.
Oh my. I think we found where the men have gone.
And
Some of
then
them.
there's a second
Captain
storage
Obvious.
of men.
Is it like tied on or chained on or
They
how are
seem
they
to
attached?
be tied like wrists and ankles around these 2 bars, and it seems to be tied with rope.
I
I
use my
start-
axe and start freeing people.
Yeah, ditto.
Okay. Some of them slump to the ground, the smell on their breath of just pine,
Oh,
and you notice a couple of
Told you
bottles of
it was
Retsina
like
just
something.
lying discarded at the side.
good thing we didn't drink that.
Yes. Maybe one of these is Dorian.
Maybe.
And Dorian was a elf, right?
Yep. Are you just going to begin freeing all the men?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
as you begin freeing them, they begin like scrabbling towards the door. Some of them can barely stand. It's like they've been tied for months. And you hear the sound of something coming towards the aqueduct to the other door. What do you do?
something coming towards it? Does it sound like footsteps or?
It sounds like footsteps coming down, like there's some stairs in the middle which seem to be of like very like fine tile, and you hear someone walking along them towards the room.
This probably isn't good.
Probably not. But let's try to get as many of these people out as possible.
Yeah, just keep freeing people.
And every elf I see, I'm gonna go, Dorian. I'm looking for Dorian. You know, just asking every elf if they're Dorian.
You free about you're basically onto your third wheel by this point, and you don't seem to find a Dorian yet so far.
Okay.
You look up and it seems to be one of the guards seems to walk in, and it's like one of the sort of elderly fisherwomen comes and she sort of points a machete-like dagger at you and goes, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Somebody, we need to shut her up.
I go.
Alright, I will charge her.
Okay. You have one turn before she runs out of the room, so roll. Yep,
15.
You charge her and you shunt her and she flies screaming into the aqueduct and seems to disappear.
Well,
that worked.
I guess we
Is
should
there-
hurry up.
Did she walk through a door that she opened?
She walked
or is
through
it
a
just...
sort of like open passage that
Open
seems to
passage.
lead somewhere.
Yeah. So much for shutting
Do
the
it.
door. Okay, go fast.
Yep.
Right, so are you,
Right there.
when you're releasing these men, are you just letting them run straight out, or are you trying to like stop them running out, or what are you doing?
Probably hold them as a group instead of
I
slow
don't-
stream.
What are we gonna do with them?
No, I think the
Stampede
panic,
out.
right, of them all being out would be good.
Yeah, but if we get them
Sure.
all together, we can do a full stampede out rather than it just scattering into the wind and them just blocking the door.
Oh,
Well,
I was thinking, you know, there
They
might
don't
be
look
one-
like they're gonna stampede in their
No.
sickliness.
Some of them are like on all fours, like vomiting onto the ground. Some of them are like very shakily getting back to their feet. Others are just slumped on the ground, desperately trying to move, but seem too drunk to move.
So they've been force-fed alcohol for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to just letting them be, you know, once they're
wouldn't-
untied.
Letting them
Whatever
bolt
they can
just
do.
letting them bolt seems like a bad idea just because that's going to alert people sooner.
True, but if they're all trying to escape and like scatter, wouldn't that like, you know, give lots of, you know, targets for everybody else? That's at least what I'm thinking.
Well, we don't want these men hurt. If that's
No, I mean like just the chaos of it all could help us.
Yeah, but if we get them all free and then start releasing them,
Okay, I'll go with you.
it's the same chaos. It's just it's not going
more
to
concentrated.
timed.
we're all done.
Okay,
Sure.
Getting out as well.
Yep.
Yeah, we can
let's
do that.
do it.
Okay.
Okay. So you free all the ones on one side of the wheels. Are you going to go over and do the other side?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So are you going to investigate the sort of place that the guard came from, or are you going to just ignore that and just do the wheel for now?
I think we should.
Let all the guys go first, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get all the guys. Then we can let them try
Keep an
and
ear out for more
get
footsteps.
to the town sort of thing. Or into the
Okay.
town.
So you end up freeing all of the men that were tied up. Most of them, as I said before, are struggling to get back to their feet. One or two of them seem slightly more able than others. Others are just broken. So they're all free. What do you want to do now?
If we let them go out the door we came through and then weave up into that temple.
yeah, I would say all of them scatter when they leave. You know.
Well, they're all
They even
standing
want to.
completely naked at the moment, so
Well, I don't have clothes for like that many men.
there's about
Yeah.
maybe 60 in total.
I normally know what to do with a naked man. I don't know.
We can either try and escort them out of the town sort of thing or take them up into the temple with us.
We haven't found Dorian yet.
Where the thing is, I don't know if it's actually a temple.
There's more in here. There could be more men.
I don't think we can herd 60 people who can barely walk.
Yeah.
I would say let them go.
Okay, let them decide what they want to do. What we gonna do?
I
You
said
want
we
to go
go
down this
hallway.
passage?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, you walk along the passage and you push your way into the next room. In the next room there's like 2 stone tables and there's a bunch of boxes behind the tables which seem to contain like very neatly folded clothes.
Hey.
Hey, clothes.
So we've let the men go if they can.
Yeah.
Oops.
Let's say, hey, let's run back, or we could catch up with them and
Yeah.
just say
There's
you can
clothes.
get your change of clothes over here if you feel able, or we can just bring the crates to them. So right.
So you
Yeah.
reappear from the passageway with a couple of crates of clothes. So most of the men that can walk are now wearing some kind of clothing.
Awesome.
Huzzah. Okay.
And was there anything else in that room?
There was a couple of weapons, but they looked like very simple weapons, as in like clubs and stuff like that. Nothing that you probably would be able to use as anything more than cheap defense.
Sure.
To any of them that are kind of coherent, I'll ask, what were they doing with you?
You talk to a couple of them. A couple of them just give you a look like they can't remember. Their brains are scrambled. They vaguely remember coming to the town and working on the ships, and then they just woke up one morning and they were tied to a wheel, stripped, and whenever they tried to, object, they just had bottles of Retsinapur down their throat.
Well, that does not sound like my kind of night.
No.
So there's 2 sets of stairs out of the room with the stone tables in it, or there's the door that you came through to get in here, which is next to the cart.
Should we go up the stairs?
To the left.
Sounds good.
Okay, so you walk round the stairs to the left, you come to another door. Are you just going to open the door, or are you going to look through it? What are you going to do?
Maybe just listen and look.
As you listen, you hear a couple of people praying, and as you push the door open a little bit, you notice that it seems to be behind a curtain in the temple, and there seems to be 2 or 3 people sitting praying in the temple itself.
Okay. I want to go up the other staircase before we wreck face.
Okay, you go up the stairway, and as you there's a sort of trapdoor at the top of this one, you gently push it open, and you find yourself in the bottom of the jailhouse with 2 or 3 of the women who look like they're not heavily armed, but look like they're ready to sort any problems, ready to go and sort it out, kind of thing.
I see.
Do they see us?
No.
We should bar that one. I don't have anything I can bar it with.
Can I make
Have a
my
shovel?
I have a crowbar. Can I make that happen?
You can try and bar it with a crowbar, yes.
Okay.
Would there be something I can use chains and a padlock on?
You can maybe chain the trapdoor shut, or maybe chain the other door to the temple shut.
That's a 9.
It looks very flimsy, but it might hold for the first pull.
Well, what do you think?
Well, these ones are armored. They could give us the most trouble.
I'll chain and padlock that door.
Yep, that's fine. So
Okay.
you chain the door shut.
Let me try to get the guys out of town.
Yep.
Okay, so are you going to bundle as many as you can onto the cart, or what are you going to do?
Yeah, I don't think there's any other option. There's a lot of them, though.
We should probably get our dwarf friend as well.
Does the last fisherwoman village thing, is it connected to the sea or is it just a lake? The fisherwoman village where we started
Oh,
didn't
right.
start
It
riot.
seems to be connected to a lake that comes from... It seems to connect from here.
It does.
Oh, we could steal boats.
Exactly.
If they're seaworthy.
I mean, they go fishing in
There's
some of
fishing
them.
boat.
River would lead you up to Limestock Bay, but that'll be as far as it went.
Well, if we
It'd
can
be
get
away
them away
from here.
quickly. Yeah. That sounds like a good idea, actually. I like that idea.
Yeah.
How many men could we squeeze on those fishing boats?
Well, there's about 20 odd boats, but some of them aren't there at the moment, and there's quite a lot of women walking around I say quite a lot, there's about 8 or 9 women walking around the sort of boats at the moment.
Well, with 50 guys, even if they're no good, we can charge them.
It's true.
Getting some people out is better than none.
Are we getting our dwarf friend before we get the boats and go, or kind of help us quite a bit in actually finding out what's happening a bit?
Yeah, what sort of, the layout is the tavern that he's at
The tavern he's at was kind of next to the one you're at.
Okay.
We could try and get him to jump out the window and catch him.
I mean,
True.
Gaffy's real good at, or no. Who through who?
Wig through Gaffy.
Look through
There you
Gaffy.
go.
Here you go.
Wig's real good at throwing people.
I don't think he'll need much prodding. He probably wants out.
True. So,
Go
But
get
are
him.
we still need to find
Dorian.
Dorian,
Yep, he's not in this group of men.
or at least what happened to him.
Yeah, I don't.
Well-
I don't know.
Oh, should we get the dwarf and these men out of here, and then we stay and try and find what happened to
Dorian.
Dorian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think this is the most important.
okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so what are you doing?
So we're leaving
Um,
the men here for the moment and going to get Anders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
are you waking up the cart driver, or...
We're going by boat.
Okay, so you're not going to wake the cart driver up. Cool. How are you going to get to Anders?
I was thinking we go by the alleyway like Yolo got up there before
Yeah.
and just try and get him to jump out. We'll catch
out
him.
the window. What I would
Throw a
suggest,
rock at the window.
as we're leaving the men, we can tell them to head towards the docks, right? They're not super quick, but there's 50 of them, and we go get Anders and catch up.
They're relatively near the docks at the moment because they're basically at Anders' shop, which is almost at the docks.
Okay. Well, then they're in a good
Let's get
space.
Anders first then, yeah.
Yeah, get Anders first.
Okay.
So,
So do I need to crawl back up to his window?
Yep, you have to roll to climb back up to his window. Yep.
That's a 15.
So you roll back up, you wave, and then you sort of push your way through the window and you wake him up, who just seems quite confused that you've woken him up again.
Back for
Hey,
more,
man.
baby.
I know you really want my services right now, but we're going to get you out of town.
And he sort of blinks and goes, "Alright, how are we getting out?"
I've got some friends downstairs. They're going to catch you.
You what?
They're out in the alleyway. Can you jump out the window? Or crawl down a rope?
I'm sure I could. And he like hobbles his way up and you help him up on top of the sort of window frame and he just plummets out onto the hitting arms of Ogden.
Awesome.
Excellent. I
Hello.
climb back down, take the climbing tools.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
now you return to where all the men are, who are all kind of... Some of them have now begun to get their senses about them, but there's still a lot of them that are like really drowsy.
Yes.
Okay. Here's the plan. We can get you as many of you out as possible on boats, but we'll have to rush the dock. Anybody up for that?
Most of them seem to be quite content to be up for that.
Okay. They're not very good weapons, but there were a couple of weapons in that back room there. You know, it gives us a better chance, and we'll try and all get on as many boats as possible and get out of here.
One of them sort of leans in and goes, "But the fishmen, they'll just bring the fishmen if we use boats."
Fishmen.
Fishmen?
His eyes just grow wide and just goes, "Yeah, the fishmen.
Anders?
Whatever you do, don't let her start casting. The fishmen will come."
Got it.
And Anders sort of just then goes, I've heard about the fishmen, but I've never seen them.
This is the...
I remember being given a trident to repair, and it was this massive, like, deadly thing, made of pure gold as well.
Do you know where that trident is?
I gave it back to the matriarch. It was apparently some ceremonial thing that she needed done.
Don't let the matriarch cast. Got it.
So if she's in that temple, should we just get to her now? We have a back way up.
We go up into the temple while all the men try and get away
Sneaky,
Yeah.
sneaky.
and keep her busy?
Yes. Let's do that.
Get them to rush the docks while...
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a plan. That sounds like actually a better plan than we usually have.
So are you all going up to fight the matriarch, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I wish you luck, Anders.
he sort of just looks at you like, you know I'm no good on boats, right? Last time I fell out of a boat, I ended up here.
Well, hopefully some of these men are good with boats. They built the things, didn't they?
He sort of looks at the men and goes, well, I suppose so.
The alternative is staying here.
You could
I'll
fight
go
with
with
us.
Good choice.
So you all move round and back inside. So you're now, you've taken the padlock off the door. What are you doing?
Do you guys want to just charge them, or...
Well, maybe peek out the curtain, see if we can see anybody.
Yeah, see if we can get a...
Can I try to sneak up on her?
When you look around the corner, there seems to be the matriarch and about 3 or 4 girls praying.
We can just rush her. Try and keep the others busy.
Yeah? Alright, let's see how it goes.
Okay,
Okay.
good as any. Okay.
So
Do we really want to just attack?
You have a better plan?
Not really.
Let's
I've got manacles, so if we try and get close, I can try and manacle her or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
I have manacles too.
Or we can try and tie her up in chains and padlock her. Shouldn't be able to cast there, I don't think.
Okay. Well, we gotta get to her first, right? And rushing them while we have the element of surprise might be best.
Sounds good to me.
okay. So are you rushing into the room and attacking the matriarch, or are you just rushing into the room? What are you doing?
I'm going to pull rush
Yes.
the matriarch.
Okay. Roll.
Okay.
You,
Oh,
the two of you try and charge at the same time. Both get stuck in the door. So the door flies open. The two of you are like, because you can't get out the door. The rest of you are standing behind, going, "This has gone bad already." As the matriarch looks over, notices you, and begins to back away, and says, "Girls, we have a problem. Fetch the guards."
I have a crossbow. Can I try and hit one with a crossbow?
You can, yes. Roll.
Just a d20?
Yep.
Oh,
You can't shoot through the two dwarves stuck in the door.
can't get it clear. Guys, get out of the doorway. Okay, I'm gonna try and push through them and rush out.
Right.
Can I wiggle off to the side?
Roll to try and push through them.
Okay.
See how this goes. Yep, you managed to clear the doorway, though all three of you are now lying on the floor.
Okay. Get up as quick
Now
as
that
possible.
they're lying on the floor, I have a clear shot. I'm gonna use my sling to try to hit one of the ladies.
Okay, roll.
Nope,
Natural
crit
one.
fail.
Your sling just fires, and it seems to break somehow. It just seems to tear, and the stone falls harmlessly to the ground, and you just look at it in your hand like, what is this?
We should be on the boats.
As you do this, the girl's running for the door. Yep, they open the door and start screaming guards. The matriarch begins to back away and her eyes begin to start glowing red.
Oh dear.
All right.
Usually bad.
Yeah. So, full on charge.
Yeah, full on.
Yeah.
We just gotta go. Yeah, just bum rush her.
Both of you charge forward, but you don't seem to get to her in time.
19.
Gaffy manages to reach her. Gaffy manages to full spear her out of where she is and through a few pews.
Okay.
So, two of you are lying in this pile of shrapnel.
I rolled a 13 to charge.
You weren't as fast as Gaffy.
Okay. I'm gonna pull my crossbow and I'm gonna try and shoot her with the crossbow.
Yep, you shoot her through the arm and it pins it to the floor, and she starts like looking at you, and her sort of calm demeanor fades, and she goes, "She will come for you. He
would
will
like
come for you. You
to
will be
take-
dragged down to the depths of the ocean."
Oh good.
And I'm gonna, while she's not moving, run at her. Yeah.
She's lying on the floor, so yep, sure, you can run her if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw my body on top of her.
Okay, so roll to see
Not
how
the
the
time or
splash
place.
What? That's not how that works, Aachen. You have to have
You
consent.
jump, you land on top of the arrow and spear yourself through the leg.
Oh.
Can I try to take her head off
Yep.
with my axe?
You try and ting, the gold in her sort of jewelry seems to protect her neck.
Oh my gosh. I would like to try and run over and just hit her somewhere.
Somebody
Sure.
put manacles on her.
18.
You walk over and you just crack her in the head. She seems to be dazed and she slowly begins to stop moving. And you hear her babbling to herself, but she doesn't seem to be speaking properly. At this point,
Just tie her up.
you look out and you see 3 guards rushing towards the room you're in.
Oh good.
You can lock the door to the temple if you want.
Oh,
Yeah, let's
sounds
do
like
that.
a rather good idea. Yeah. And hopefully, if the guards are running here, they're not running towards the dock.
You shut the door, but you can't work out how a bolt works.
Let's see if I can help with a
Yep.
19.
You go, for fuck's sake, it's just chunk. So you got this very thick, heavy bolt, and you hear like the sound of like halberds hitting on the other side of the door.
I want to continue hitting the matriarch.
Yep. You just keep twatting her in the head, and she's still babbling to herself.
Just, are we gonna kill her?
Okay. Like we could also
'Cause-
run after the men, get to the
Yeah.
docks, go out the back door.
Okay, but here's the thing. If someone lives, they're gonna do this again.
Right.
Right?
If she,
I mean,
she
that's-
can also still summon the fishmen as well.
Okay. Yep, you're right. Go. Do it.
Aiming for the head again.
You managed to miss her, even though she can barely move. She managed to roll her head out of the way.
Wow. We are
Maybe we just let her be.
So it is just us. Our theory that it was roll
It's just you standing over her, and you can't even hit a target that's pinned to the floor.
Wow.
Yep. You crack her in the head. She begins to start bleeding from the skull and just stops moving.
Okay.
Good enough for
that
me.
was way harder, and
Again, for good measure.
Okay.
Do any of you want to do a quick perception check on the matriarch before
Yeah.
you go?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll go.
Somebody do it. Yeah.
Now I can roll.
Okay. Okay. You are the first group to find this. I'm telling you that now. You examine the matriarch's jewelry. All her jewelry says Melia and she's wearing a pendant around her neck that looks like a circle with thread wrapped around it in different ways.
Wow.
Should we take all her jewelry as evidence that there was a Melia, at least it existed?
Yes, that's why we're taking the gold.
Yes.
Loot the body.
Okay. It takes you about 5 minutes to rip all the gold off of her, because there's lots and lots of gold. And at this point,
Is
you
there
hear
a
the
golden
sound of-
trident here anywhere?
There's still the sound of the halberds hitting the door behind, and as you look to the altar, you look behind the altar, there is a trident, a very, very large, heavy, sharp trident behind.
We should probably take that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there
I'll go
any
grab
other...
that. I can.
There's like a tower attached to the temple, right?
There's like a sort of small tower leading up that does seem to have like 1 or 2 small falcons.
If she's Melia, would he be here?
If he's alive, maybe.
Does it look like there's any other sort of rooms or anything attached to this temple?
No,
or...
no rooms, no.
Okay.
I mean, there's a good chance he may have been turned into a fish man, maybe, if there's magic involved.
That's
Okay.
true. But
Well, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
do we
At
want to
this point,
send...
you hear a sort of horn sounding, and then you hear some of the women from the outside trying to get through the door go, "They're at the docks! Let's go to the docks!"
Uh-oh.
If we go
should
back
charge
out
the
the door we came
Yeah.
and try and cut them off, maybe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. To the other side.
Okay. So you opening the door?
No,
Going
like go
back
No,
the other
we're going back the other way.
Go back the other way. Okay.
Yeah.
So you run the other way, and as you sort of run out the door, you see like about 15 to 20 women, all with like kind of halberds, running towards the docks, all kind of hurriedly like tightening armor and stuff as they get to it. As you look out, you see like lots of boats just paddling fiercely away at this point.
Are the boats are away?
I'm going to...
And next to you, the cart driver is frantically trying to attach his horse to the cart.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if the boats are leaving already, we should
yeah.
probably get the cart.
As we run, can I get my sling going?
Yeah, I was gonna try and shoot as well into the crowd of those ladies, kind of draw their attention.
Try and throw a stone, it does nothing but shatter a window.
I'll fire my bow.
Double one! The two of you just trip and roll down the stairs, crunching injuries all the way down.
Oh.
So as you get to the bottom, one of you feels like he's struggling to walk and the other one is limping badly.
Oh no.
Get to the cart.
Let's get to the
Gotta
cart.
get out of
the
here.
cart.
I'll help anyone who can't walk there.
Ditto.
Okay, so you limp your way back to the cart as you watch this scene of these boats being have spears and stuff thrown at them as they frantically paddle to get out. Are you just going to get on the cart and bolt out of there?
Are all the people out?
Well, all the people that
I mean,
have
on
got
the
boats
boat.
that they can be out seem to have got out.
Oh, as we ran past, could I grab a couple bottles of that liquid?
Yep.
And then I would like to light it on fire and throw it at someone, I guess? I don't know.
Or just some random person.
Someone or okay. Rolling for throwing
Ladies.
at someone. Yep, you throw it and you smashes and one of the girls catches fire and just starts burning with a very strong smell of pine.
Is that
Weirdest
their
barbecue
intention?
ever.
Okay.
So
Probably leave.
okay,
Yeah, no,
so
we need
you
to leave now.
Jump
like
on the
yesterday.
cart. The cart
Yep.
speeds its way out of the town.
Can I throw one at the temple as we go past?
Yep.
Okay.
You throw one at the door at the temple. The temple begins to catch fire.
Yes.
So you escape. You flee. Are you stopping to wait for any of the men to get off, or are you just going to assume they've done their own thing and just flee back to the city?
I imagine they would have fleed.
If we can help them in any way, but
They seem to
I don't
just
know
have
how we
used the boats to get as far away as possible before coming back to land.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, if they're coming back to land, then yes, definitely try and escort them, help them.
Okay, so you sort of wait at the other side of thing. You've ended up picking up a lot of men, taking them in the cart with you. You journey south, dropping some men off at all the towns on the way, including reuniting Tabitha with her husband.
Yay!
And you return to the city where the merchant who sent you off said, You're back. How did you get on? Did you find my son?
There were a lot of dead men and weird magic shit happening. So I would
see.
expect the worst. But you have
we
clothes.
did find Melia.
You found this Melia. I mean, where was she? Who was she? Did she indeed marry my son?
She was evil as fuck, yo. We took care of her.
Oh, I
She
see.
was summoning fishmen.
Fishmen.
Or making them? We're not quite sure.
Or yeah, we stopped her, and they can't make fish people or summon them to our knowledge.
Oh, well, I suppose that's something. Did you find anything of my son?
No.
Present one of the necklaces of Melia.
Yeah, that was
The least valuable.
This is all we have.
The necklace you took off Melia that was the circle with the cord wrapped around it is, in fact, Dorian's birthright necklace.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
So he takes it from you, and he seems very saddened, but he also seems to have finally got closure.
Nice.
So he thanks you all, gives you the gold, and basically just bows, and as he's about to leave, Anders appears, and he begins to have a conversation with Anders about how to craft gold.
We could ask Anders to melt down the trident, so we can split it evenly 3 ways.
3.
4. Sorry, forgot this 4 of myself.
That is the end of the one-shot.
Awesome.
That was really fun.
That was really good.
Before we stop, though, please do your plugging, so whichever one of you would like to do it. The floor is yours. Please tell us, who you are, where we can find you, and if you've got anything coming up between now and basically now and November. So away you go.
That's you, Kim.
Yeah. Okay, so I personally am Metzgirl, METZGIRL, over on the Twitters and on the Discords. And I personally have a podcast called Service Desk, in which I attempt to tell non-tech savvy people about all the tech things. So that's fun. Sam was on recently. He'll be actually on Monday, October 1st. We, as a group, are Beholder's Eye. You can find us Beholder's Eye Pod on the Twitters, or if you want to come to our website and see some gorgeous art that Ben, aka Gaffy here, has put together, that's beholderseyecast.com. And what else? Oh, I also stream on Twitch. If you want to see me in my full, beautiful face, you can find me to the second, third, fourth Tuesday on Welcome Party RPG. I do a Mimic Night D&D game there.
Yeah, we are on YouTube at Beholder's Eye. If you look it up, you'll find it. And there's links to where you can find us on our website. And you should be able to find us anywhere you can find a podcast. We're working really hard on getting it basically everywhere.
Cool. And do you guys have Patreon and anything like that you want to plug as well?
We don't have a Patreon as of yet.
But we have a Discord.
We do have a Discord channel. Yep. Links to it on our website and on our Twitter.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to plug?
If you want to get in contact with any of us individually, there are handles for everybody, including our wonderful DM, Alex, who can't be here today. So, yeah, because he has a child, so.
No problem.
Children and family, whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that'll be it then. Again,
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was great.
fun.
And with that, dearest friends, time has run out for our tale with our group of adventurers. We hope you'll join us in taking the time to support those that dare to traverse our dungeons, and maybe even listen to their own bard's tales, for what is a good story if not shared with as many folk as can be sang to? As for ourselves, you can follow the many tales of Penance RPG through both our Twitter or Facebook at Penance RPG. If you would like to support us in our endeavours, we have both a Patreon at patreon.com/PenanceRPG and Ko-Fi at ko-fi.com/PenanceRPG. All support, however small it may seem, is gratefully received and will assist us in bringing future projects to your ears.
And as the evil that was in the north returns to legend, and as another group are left changed forever, we only have this to say. Good night out there, whatever you are.